It's Sunday night. It's 7 p.m. and from now onwards, for the next, several weeks, that means it's European GT3 series time here at oNiD. This is the oNiD Racing Kadan Computers ACC European GT3 series, round 1, coming to you live from a dark Hungaroring, but more of that in just a second. First of all, the introductions. My name's Adam D, and I will be bringing you tonight's racing. I will be leading the commentary here for Split 2, which is race 1, and then we'll move into Split 1, which is race 2, which is not at all confusing at all. But joining me tonight is the man, the legend, Alex Parkin.
Bloody hell, that's a lot of pressure and I've not even said anything yet.
Well, at least you were on time with that response. That's a step up from the other night already. Well done.
Thank you.
Not a problem. So yeah, Alex, tonight we have 2 splits, which is a bit of a monumental moment in the history of oNiD. This is the first time we have had 2 splits racing in one night. So you and I are here to bring the commentary together for Split 2, which is race 1. That's not easy to get the right way round.
We really need to come up with a streamlined title for these, I think, but we'll get there. Possibly.
We do indeed. Now, the reason that you are commentating on Split 2 is because you, sir, are in Split 1.
Yeah. Hope that goes well.
You had much practice in so far?
Not a huge amount. I did about half an hour earlier. I did alright. I got a win about half a second on my best lap time, so I think there's time to be found. Just hope it doesn't rain and be freezing cold, but we shall see.
Well, you got half of it already. It's only 17 degrees out there, both track and air temperature, and it's dark. So who knows what's going to happen, but the session has just moved into qualifying now, and the good news for the drivers in this split is that it is dry. Let's take you full screen, if my PC will decide to allow me to do things. There we go. Let's take you full screen now. Important notice at the bottom of the screen as well. No F1 spoilers. You drop a spoiler in chat, you get a smack. Yeah. I'm going to watch Formula 1 afterwards. So please, no F1 spoilers. But here we go. Qualifying time. So, Alex, is it 15 minutes? Sorry, 10 minutes per class, or are they all going out together? I can't remember.
No, it's 10 minutes each. So you've got the red numbers of national drivers. They're going on track now for 10 minutes, and then it's, I don't know what the other class is called, but white numbers, they get 10 minutes afterwards. So it's split like we usually do in multi-class racing, I think.
I think the white ones are AM and the red ones are national, and then in the top split you have pro and silver. I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. We're still figuring this one out as we go along. So let's pick up some drivers on the track. So Stefan Locker is in an Audi. Do you know if we can tell whether any of these guys are driving the new cars?
Not from a distance. I'm not that much of an expert. I suspect. Surely the Audi drivers. Oh, someone's in wall. Suspect the Audi drivers are probably new cars.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? I mean, it would be an odd decision to stick with the old one, unless it's a case of the fact that you've got tons of setups, you know the car really well, you get on well with the car and you don't want to risk it. But yeah, for the most part, you'd expect the Audi drivers to have jumped into the new Audi. But time will tell. We're watching Bo Lamberts, who has a beautiful John Player Special style livery on that Aston, as he heads through turn 2. Alex, where's the tricky part on this track?
The track. It's. I don't mind driving it too much, but it's tough. There's not much runoff on a lot of the on some of the corners, and I think the S's on the middle of the circuit are quite tough. You've got to be really careful on your throttle, but it's not really much of a forgiving track on this game. It's you can lose time in a lot of places but not gain much.
So Vest wants to know our predictions for the national class, the red boxes. So Alex, you get to go first. Who's going to take pole?
This is quite a tough one. There's quite a lot of new names there, but Jackson's usually pretty strong. So maybe I'll go with Jackson before I know what's the times.
You're going to go with Dog Juice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good shout, you know, because he's been getting better and better. He's driving a Ferrari tonight. Interesting choice. We've got a real mix of cars out there, actually, which will be interesting. I am going to go with... I'm going with Dog Juice as well.
Heaping the pressure on him.
Graham, you gotta bring it home now. Bo Lamberts goes top at the moment. Ryan Davies immediately eclipses that by 2.2 seconds. So that's a lap from Ryan. Be interesting to see how Stefan Locker gets on as well. That guy's pretty quick. As Sebastian Leithoff goes top with a 46.3, which is a really strong lap for the national class. And Gray is in second there, 8/10 further back. So maybe did we forget about Mr. Leithoff? That is a great lap.
I think that might be a new name, to be honest. It's not one I'm too familiar with.
Well, I know that I've had to work out how to pronounce it at some point, so I know that he's raced with us at some point. I'm wondering whether it might be the GT4s, and you don't tend to do the GT4s, do you?
No, sadly work gets in the way in the week, so I'm not always around. I did enjoy the one commentary stint I did with you there. That was a fun race.
Oh, those GT4s are great fun. They really are. Yeah, thank you. Whoever is, I assume it's Johnny watching the chat at the minute and deleting the Muppets that keep sticking the old spam links in chat. So thank you for getting rid of those. But whatever happens, unless it's one of us posting a link in chat, please do not click it, because you could end up in all kinds of issues there. Apex wants to know the odds of Crashly binning it on the formation lap. I'd say high.
It's never going to live that down. Ever. He's
not. And I mean, the really unfortunate thing for Johnny is that actually I'm a worse offender on that. I did it 2 races in a row last year sometime, but yeah, everyone seems to have remembered Johnny's issue a little bit more.
It was just such a massive accident for a formation lap.
Well, that's true. Yeah, his accident was a lot bigger than mine, in fairness. Leithoff, by the way, was going slightly quicker, but then got it all sideways out of the final corner in his BMW, so didn't make up any time in the end. Ryan Davies, however, is 30 seconds into his lap, and he's currently 4/10 up and flashing purple. So we'll keep an eye on Ryan Davies right now, as we say thank you Raven Rabble for the follow.
We'll have a flash of purple in qualifying, don't we?
We do indeed. It's quite a nice livery. You'll have to take my word for that. It's a bit too dark to see it. I think he's going to struggle here with Bo Lamberts being in front of him. Bo is on a lap, so no requirement on Bo to jump out of the way at all. You know, Bo is more than entitled to carry on with his lap as well, but it is hurting Ryan. He's dropped a 10th so far on where he was. Yeah, it's sort of one of those, do you back off and go again, or do you try and hold on to the gains that you're making?
Keep with it. If you're up especially, you've just got to see. Try and see, I guess. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he was all of a sudden losing all of the time that he gained, so it kind of made sense to do that. Danny Medina is half a second up on his current lap, so we'll watch that to the end. In an all-white Nissan. There's a couple of Nissans out there tonight.
Yeah, you don't see them too often. It's a good thing car types mixed up.
They are a looker as well, though, aren't they?
Yeah. So the one at older cars on grid. Oh, I think that one is.
So Locker and Lamberts with exactly the same time so far. Always interesting to see that. But Medina did improve just ever so slightly. Matt Gray is on a good lap at the moment. He's 5 or 6 tenths up so far.
We've also got one driver without a time, and it's the one we both picked for pole, so... Whoops. Sorry, Dog Juice.
Yeah, and he's on a lap at the moment, which is invalidated as well, so...
He's only got 2 minutes to do something as well.
Quality.
Oh, dear.
Matt Gray's going to jump up here, though. He goes second, just a tenth off of pole in national class. That was a good lap from Matt, a 1:46.495.
And if he can beat Leithoff, is it? Sorry?
Leithoff, yep.
Yeah, he's in the pit, so we can't actually do anything about it at this point.
Interesting. Now, Ryan Davies hasn't been able to put together a lap anywhere near as good as the one that he was on until he lost time behind Bo, and he's invalidated his current lap, so he should squeeze through to get one more in after this. Matt Gray, though, looking good, occasionally flashing purple, but really sideways out of the very fast left-hander at the top of the hill. It's a wicked corner, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a killer, potentially.
So the Audi now coming into the tricky S's section through the middle.
I really don't like that really tight chicane. I just can never seem to get it right.
Oh, see, I like the chicane. I like it a lot. I really struggle through the S's section. It always feels to me like whatever car you're driving, it's never got enough front end on it to get through there.
Yeah, it's easy to run wide and pick up the track limit warnings left, right, and centre on that section.
As Matt Gray does exactly that, but through a different section. He abandons his last lap. He was looking good, but just then ran wide 2 corners from the end. Ryan Davies is on a lap this time, so he's about half the way round this lap, maybe not quite halfway, but he was flashing purple momentarily. He's dropped a bit of that pace at the moment as he comes through a chicane that we've just been talking about and into that S's section. So Alex, let's go on board with Ryan now, and this is a really quick part of the circuit now.
We need to push the track limit straight away as soon as we go on board with him.
Oh, he's still within limits and he's flashing purple. Our prediction for pole is 9th.
Well, it's our lap in the end, but yeah, we were way off in the end, weren't we?
We were indeed. Now the AM drivers, so the ones in the white box, they are on track now as we watch the final laps from the national class drivers. Ryan Davies out the final corner, still flashing purple, 8 tenths up. He's going to go pole and does by 3 tenths of a second. So Ryan Davies, the man on pole, and McGray 90. Thanks for the follow.
That's a huge lap. Last chance to get a lap in before he pulls into the pits, and he's delivered, hasn't he? 46 flat, that's a good time. It's
a cracking lap. It might even put him in and amongst some of these drivers, I think. Good to see the AM class drivers now out on track. Track is optimum. Track has gone up a degree as well. And talking of nice to see, it is lovely to see Mr. Matt Wilmot back in an oNiD race, rocking his OTL Racing Bentley. So welcome back, Matt. Great to have you along with us. And if you're wondering why his car is twitching around a little bit, that's because Matt is a gamepad warrior and does an absolutely cracking job at it. So it'll be interesting to see how Matt gets on tonight. But welcome back, Matt, to the fray.
Kadan have been in chat saying this isn't a good track for him. I think it's probably not a good one for the Nissan either. There's not enough long straights to use that good straight line speed it's got.
Very true. We do very quickly need to get the old predictions on the go for this class. So over to you, sir.
I think Watts in practice had a massive pace advantage, so I'm gonna stick with that. A little bit safer prediction than the national class.
Derek Stack. That is my prediction. Derek Stack. When the man's on one, he's on one. So let's see how he gets on tonight. And he's not driving a Porsche. He's driving a Honda.
That's a rare sight.
It really is. So these guys starting to get round on their first lap. Nobody flashing purple as yet. But, all of that could change. And it might, especially in these cooler conditions, do you reckon it's taking a couple of laps for these guys to get the tyres exactly where they want them?
Yeah, it looks that way, because I know in the little bit of practice I did earlier, I really had to put some times in to get the tyres up to pressure, and even then they still weren't showing fully green on the hood. They're, especially if it rains, it's tough conditions.
Now, of course, there is always a chance of rain here at oNiD, but let's wait and see whether that happens or not. Marek Chittle is the fastest of these drivers so far. Derek Stack jumps up ahead of him, but Matt Wilmot goes fastest of the AM class drivers so far. Puts him 4th overall in this split. So some of these guys have got some ways to go to try and get themselves ahead of the national class drivers. Let's pick up on your prediction, Shane Waters, and that's an attractive looking car as well.
Have you seen who's just gone pole in the pro class? Mr.
Ashley. Don't mention it out loud. Right, that's it. Guys, server's broken. Something's gone wrong, so got to restart the server. No, you're absolutely right. Johnny Ashley has gone pole in AM class at the moment. Matt Wilmot is going faster though, and is currently flashing purple. So let's see how Matt gets on. Johnny could be a good shout here for a result, as Ralph Vest jumps up ahead of him now with a 46.05 too. That is 1/100th of a second off of Davies, but Jackman now goes pole overall with a 45.952.
This looks like it's going to be a really mixed up group between national and AM drivers. It could really make it an interesting race. Davis has got such a cushion currently over Lyoff and Grays. Yeah, he's going to have some cars between them to help him defend.
He really is, and there's times going in all over the place. Oh, as your man Watts goes walloping in with a 44.6. What a lap that is. 1.3 clear. Matt Wilmot goes second now, so Matt doing well in that Bentley. What car do you think is the one of choice for around Hungaroring?
Probably the Bentley or the new Beamer seem quite strong. They're good through the corners and accelerating out of it. But I've not driven the Bentley since the patch, but that's what I hear.
And you can probably gain some time by walloping the curbs through the chicane as well.
Yeah, just straight line it. Act like it's not there.
Bit like a Zolder yeet across the curbs. Right, what's pulling off, so to speak?
Oh.
Now this one, I wish it was bright and sunny so that you could see this livery. It's William Black in the "They're after me, Lucky Charms" livery. And apologies to every single Irishman apart from Willie. My horrendous accent then. But you know, this man has put his Lucky Charms livery on. I'm going to get taken off air in a minute.
The most Irish car you could imagine.
Driven by probably the most Irish person you could imagine, actually.
True.
But no, it's a lovely looker. So and Willie's on a good lap here. He's 5/10 up. Of course, the important thing to watch is that constant battle between Willie and Johnny. Look how close they are together at the moment. In fact, look at 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. It's a ridiculous lack of time between them.
Even Jackman just ahead, he's not really, there's not much of a gap between all those five. And Deduis, or sorry, apologies for my pronunciation, he's joining the fun as well, he's just off the back. And Schnapp, wow. 5th to 11th.
The Doid, yes. God, yeah. Oh man, I really should have read the names before I started commentating tonight. But Willie Black has gone second, look.
Wow.
9/10 off of Watatas and just ahead of Petr Jelinek, another oNiD regular. So Johnny's now got his work cut out because he's actually a fair chunk off of his big rival. But talking of liveries, check this bad boy out if you can. It's a bit dark, I know, but look at this old B&H Jordan inspired Bentley for Johnny. What a machine that is.
It's lovely, isn't it? We were talking about favourite F1 liveries the other night, weren't we, in the 2.4 series, and I think that's the Jordan cars they were my favourites. So iconic, and that's a good interpretation of it as well.
It really is. I think that one's been done by Ben22 Racing, so obviously if you need a livery doing, ben22racing.com is the place to go. Check that out. Second, Ralph Vest, 0.930. Third, Willie Black, 0.960. Fourth, Petr Jelinek, 0.970. It's ridiculous, although Jelinek now goes second. We're in for some really good battles tonight in this split, I think.
Especially how hard it is to overtake on this track. That's just going to add to it a little bit if someone has a bad qualifying and ends up out of position.
Isn't it
just? That's a race.
Isn't it just? Hiker says Jordan go vroom. Yes, it do. It do. There's some lovely comments about Willie in chat as well. I wish we could understand him so he can talk about his livery. Yes, we all wish that. Hydronox says he speaks like he is perpetually inebriated. Because he is. A joyous lad. Yeah, he has his moments. But there you go. Shane Watts is 3/10 up on this lap. And flashing purple once again. So I think he's about to put himself out of reach, especially of Jelinek, because Jelinek's back in the pits. There we go, 44.3.
That'd be a competitive time in the top split, I think.
Well, I was just going to say, we need to keep an eye on that to see where that time would have put him in the top split. That would be really interesting to see that. Don't worry, Shane, we're not talking about moving you. We just want to see where your pace is tonight. Matt is 3/10 up on this lap. So this could just move him up onto the front row, but he might be about to get held up by Andy Hearn in that beautiful BMW directly in front of him. But Matt Wilmot still on a lap. No, he is now down on his time. D-Stacks had to park it. So who is improving? Tojan Anderson, not Trojan. Jesus. Tojan Anderson is 4/10 up on his lap at the minute, so we'll keep an eye on this one to the end. That could move him up to 13th or 14th overall if he continues this one.
And Willie Black just gave up on his lap at the end, and there's just Johnny Ashley and Anderson left.
Yeah, Johnny's 4/10 down, 2/10 down on his current lap, 1/10 down. So I don't think he's going to improve. No, he doesn't. But we are watching Tojan Anderson about to cross the line. He goes 8th. What a lap that is, and beats Casey Jackman by 0.05 of a second in the end. Fantastic stuff. So that's qualifying done. And we start to get ready for the race. So, Alex, it's prediction time. Overall winner.
Overall winner, I think it's got to be Watts. Unless he has some kind of problem, that pace is pretty dominant, I think.
I'm going to go with Jelinek. I think Jelinek's nice and consistent. He's driving the Bentley, which should help him be nice and consistent as well. So, yeah, I'll go Jelinek. And then what about yours for the red class?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Davis. Sorry, Graham. After qualifying.
Absolute cop-out. I'll just go for the person who's easily fastest. All right, I'll go with Lythoff then.
Ooh.
Give it a go anyway. There we go. What about you guys in chat? Feel free to drop your predictions in. Hiker says, let's go race time, baby. And John Rowan says, good luck all. Yeah, good luck, everyone. Great to have the GT3s back on a Sunday night. It's been a lonely old Sunday night the last few weeks with no GT3 action to witter on about, but here we are, we're back again, ready to bring it to you. What are we thinking about Turn 1?
I'm hoping it's well behaved. It's dry, so that's something, and it's not too... To be fair, the grading spreadsheet's done a wonderful job pretty much again. So it should help keep it nice and behaved, hopefully.
It has, although, Willie, your spreadsheet did miss Ryan Davies, didn't it, really? Hydronox says D-Stack will make up some spots. Not sure if he's going to win it, but we'll make up some spots. Good shout. D-Stack has got a lovely livery on the go as well. See if we can pick that up on the warm-up lap. Where am I going to find him? There he is. So it's a nice purple and fluorescent-y, greeny, yellowy kind of flashes of colour on it. And very kind of him, he's decided to pick Sim Stuff as the main sponsor through the middle. Much appreciated. Check that out, it looks nice. What livery are you rocking tonight?
I did realise I forgot to upload it, but it is a... Well, it would be a Manor-inspired livery. However, I'm just going to have to make something up on the fly when I go into the server, I think. Stupidly, I forgot to add it to the pack.
Quickly ping it to me in Discord and I'll shove it in.
Go on then. Just need to gather up all the files.
I've just eaten a piece of Cadbury caramel. That's nice. Problem is, you forget just how much it gets stuck in your mouth.
Then you, can barely talk down the mic.
Indeed. Right, so these guys are around on their warm-up lap then. About halfway through, coming into the chicane. And then we'll get racing for 45 minutes. So, like I said earlier, this is the first time ever that oNiD have had 2 splits running on a Sunday night. And you may notice we decided not to have them running at the same time. The idea being that we want to be able to stream both of them. So we are streaming back-to-back Split 2, which is this race, followed by Split 1. So after this race, we will take a short break whilst we jump into the new server, and then we will get going. That server has, I think, is that already launched, isn't it, Alex? So the Split 1 drivers are actually in their practice session right now.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna have to ditch you about 15 minutes into this race to get some practicing myself, but yeah, that launched about 15 minutes ago, I think.
So yeah, the Split 1 cars taking their practice in right now whilst these boys go racing. So we've timed it all nicely so that we can go straight from this race into qualifying for the next one and then bring you race 2. And the good news is Cammy will be back for race 2, and we will be bringing you that one live as well. But for now, we are about to go racing in Split 2, which is race 1, 45 minutes around Hungaroring. This is oNiD Racing. We're waiting for the green light, and there it is. Shane Watts with a great start. Looked like Jelinek was a little bit too far back in his box there and has lost out as a result, but he's going to send it down the outside into T1, turns in on Watts a little bit further back. Everyone seemingly getting through side by side quite well. Doesn't look to be any carnage, but let's go back up to the front and see what's going on.
Yep,
Watts holds on to the lead. Is that who's that up into third? Is that's Matt Wilmot up into third, isn't it?
I think I'm not too sure. I think it's
no, it's Willie.
Is it?
It's Willie Black. Where has he come from?
That's a
What
great start.
That is from Willie. His lucky charms working really well on lap 1, and he has put himself up into 3rd. Meanwhile, Shane Watts continues to lead and has actually gapped Jelinek a little bit. Well, I thought Jelinek was going to get a run on him round the outside at T1, but Watts managed to tuck in, didn't he, Alex, and held it nicely.
Yeah, he had a think, but thought better of it. It's all very well behaved so far. Bo Lambert's ran a bit wide on turn 2, I think, but other than that, no one's had any sort of issue whatsoever. Good effort.
Really good effort, especially in the dark, and it's cold out there as well, just 16 degrees. And Willie Black running 3rd. He's got Ralph Vest right behind him. Ralph back in the Ferrari, back in the car that he is most commonly associated with, I think. Johnny sitting 8th so far, and right behind Van der Vork in the Porsche in 8th.
Your prediction for the national class looking good. Lythoff has picked up a good number of places and took the lead in that one.
Well, you know, it takes skill to be able to predict these things, and you know, some have got it, some haven't. We'll see where it's at in 42 minutes' time. Plus, they've got a mandatory pit stop to take as well, so anything could happen in this one. Now, Willie is a little bit the cork in the bottle, I think. He's got Vest and Wilmot and, to a certain extent, Stack beginning to queue up behind him. I hear an ooh from Alex. What's going on?
First yellow flag, I think Rowan had a look at the inside of Ola, and they both went round, but they've picked up the back of the pack. No massive stoppages, but they've probably got a bit of damage there.
Now, we did also catch an issue there with Graham Jackson with a beautiful livery with a bit of a send on Heike van der Veen. But I think they've all got away with it now. I think there is something a little bit more serious further up. There is, and it's Sebastian Lythoff. There was a couple of other cars involved as well. So let's see if the replay can pick up what happens here. So replay's loading. This is Lythoff's car.
Something significant. There's a massive gap open up in the pack all of a sudden.
Yeah, so what are we about to see? One car drops it. That is Lythoff. And then everyone else trying to scatter. Oh! I'm so glad that this is simulated racing and not real. Yeah. I think Lythoff was sitting there holding his brakes and then thought that everyone was going around the back of him. So thought he could turn around, but no, not when the pack's coming.
It's unfortunate. That's probably one of the quicker parts of that part of the circuit, and yeah, they almost got through, but it just spiraled out of control at the end, didn't it?
What's happened to Watts? Watts is down to 11th. And in fact, I think may even be falling a little bit further back than that as well.
He is struggling with pace. He's getting swamped all of a sudden through turn 1.
So I wonder if he's picked up some damage along the way with some kind of incident. But he's running very wide there as well. The car looks tricky.
A replay while you keep on with the live stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately my replay doesn't go far enough back to tell us what's happened. So yeah, if you can dig that one out and see what happened to Shane, that would be great. What it does mean though is that Petr Jelinek is in the lead. So Jelinek in that Bentley.
It's the hairpin just after the fast left-hander. Just carries a bit too much speed, oversteers, does a half spin, and I don't think he gets collected somehow, but he's lost a lot of time.
So any damage do we think, or is he okay?
Not that I can tell.
Excellent. So he might be able to start recovering. Andy Hearn's in the pits. Now the pit window hasn't opened as yet, but Andy Hearn in anyway, so maybe he has got some damage. Petr Jelinek leads in the Bentley. Ralph Vest is second.
Good lad. With a bad ankle as well, I think.
Yeah, he's putting me to shame, isn't he?
I think his was a little less serious than yours, but it's still a good effort.
Now, Willie Black under pressure from Matt Wilmot here. This is the view back from Willie's rear wing at the fellow Bentley. D-Stack looking... Is D-Stack going to go for a send up the inside of both of them? No, he thinks better of it. Plays the percentages. Matt also not finding a way past, but now D-Stack looking to see if he can get a switch back on Matt as they run down the hill towards turn 2. Tricky braking point here, but Matt holds the inside nicely. So no change of position there right now, but look who is making their way up through the field. Johnny Ashley up to 6th, and Derek Stack is the fastest man on track at the minute. He did a 46.1 last time around. So a cracking lap from him. Although having said that, Jelinek did a 45.5, but it must have been invalidated, which is why Mr. Stack is showing purple right now.
I'm not sure if a lot of cars have picked up damage in that incident we just saw, but there's just been about 5 cars in the pit lane, but that's taken a lot of cars out of the equation in the national class, and Chittle and Hearn out of the pro class, so not sure what's going on there, if the damage was that bad.
Some of them were pretty direct hits at full speed, weren't they? So
yeah,
it could have been bad, I suppose. Tojan Anderson has picked up a drive-through. That's really early.
7
Be getting a
minutes, that's
drive-through.
incredible.
I mean, that's like beyond Dave's best ever.
That is one track limit 1 in per lap so far. That's yeah.
That is peak Dave. That is.
Got another car pitting actually. Anderson service drive-through. I've just realised.
Yeah, well done.
Good.
So we've got a bit of a train forming as they come down the straight. Johnny very late on the brakes there, but doing all right as Casey Jackman is battling with our pole man and previous leader Shane Watts. So whether Shane is now starting to come back through. So Jelinek did take the fastest lap last time around with a 45.3. Shane Watts, I think the only other driver down in the 45s at the minute, so Shane's got the pace. He's just got to find the gaps to get through. Where's the best place to be making a move around here, Alex?
Definitely turn 1. Massive straight into a heavy braking zone. That's about it for heavy braking zones. It's just a case if you can outmaneuver someone on the throttle, but the track's just so tight. Johnny Asher's showing there, it's quite easy to block someone off.
That's not Johnny, that's Casey Jackman.
Oh!
I keep getting confused as well. No, Johnny's in the in the Jordan livery, remember?
Yeah, it's difficult to tell in this light. That's my excuse anyway.
Jelinek is out front by such a distance now, so Petter doing well. He's 6.5 seconds clear of all of these. So you've got Vest and Black and Wilmot and Stack, and to a certain extent Ashley and Jackman and Watts all together. So before long we are going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 way.
Just as getting spicy, I might have to drop out and go to the split 1 practice, annoyingly. I really don't want to go, but I might have to tear myself away at some point.
Yes, well, you've got practice to do. Just looking back into the chat. Oh, Mr. Fish, good evening, sir. Long time no see. Yeah, a drive-through in 4 laps. Impressive. Impressive indeed. But as Ben said, what are track limits? Who knows? And a thank you to Mr. Van Royen with a subscription. So much appreciated for that. Here we are then. 35 minutes left, and this is the train for second. It's Vest, Black, Wilmot, Stack, Ashley, Jackman, and Watts. And there was a ooh from Alex.
Yeah.
What is it?
My prediction for Watts is going worse. He just had an incident at turn 1, ran very deep and lost a place or 2 there. Let Ryan Davis and Schnapp past him, I think.
Well, Ryan Davis back into the lead of the national class then, because it was Matt Gray for a while. But Ryan Davies back into that lead. He was significantly quicker than the rest of the class in qualifying. A tricky start to this race. Watts, yeah, now down to 15th. The curse of the pole.
It's paying out alright for Davies so far. He's pulling himself out a nice 7-second gap, but yeah, Watts must be carrying damage from somewhere. It seems to be really struggling all of a sudden. Or the NXX is just murdering him. Like
Talking of NSX's murdering people, Derek Stack looking like he's getting very, very close to the Bentley crew in front of him. Matt Wilmot gets a little sideways out the final corner, runs a touch wide, so D-Stack looking to use the power of the Honda as they run down into turn 1. Who will be latest on the brakes? And it is Matt who holds the position through T1. Have you ever driven the NSX?
Briefly, I think I did some testing with it for the first season of the Rookies, and because someone had helped with it, but it was a very twitchy thing. It's not my liking at all.
It was pretty much the first car I drove in ACC, and I loved it until I then got on track with other cars and realised that other cars were a lot faster. Well, I ditched it pretty quickly. I've never really settled on a GT3 car, but I think I am settling on the Bentley now, just because it's most simple to drive, I guess. But as Mr. Van Rooyen asks, are the Bentleys taking over? Well, yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? Bentley's in 1st, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th tonight, so they're doing well. As you see, Matt Wilmot running very wide, and Derek Stack will try and take that position, and does. So D-Stack up into 4th now, Wilmot down to 5th. Johnny Ashley will now try and have a go at Matt's Bentley as well, in his own Bentley. Thought Johnny was going to go for the send there, but he doesn't. These two love a battle, so we'll see how they get on. And that's Casey Jackman in another Bentley, chasing these guys down as well.
To say we've been going 15 minutes, the on-track battles are still there and real entertaining.
And of course the pit window hasn't even opened yet. I'm assuming that's going to open in about 2.5 minutes time. And we then need to get all these guys through the pits for their mandatory 1 stop. What's the... Oh, as Matt Wilmot gets it wrong into turn 1. Gets it very sideways, but manages to hold it. But that puts Johnny Ashley now up another position for now. Although Jackman's got through as well. I missed that one. But now Johnny back up the inside of Casey Jackman. So look at the Bentleys go here. And Johnny now does get that 5th place overall. So Jackman and Ashley in a really solid battle there, Alex.
Yeah, it's entertaining, and annoyingly I'm just going to have to drop out just as it carries on.
Well, thanks for being with us for the start of this one, Alex. So good luck in your race that's coming up a little bit later on. We'll carry on the commentary here, live action from oNiD Racing's European GT3 series, with thanks to our channel partners, SimStuff, Kadan Computers, Go for the Gap, Pitwall.live, SimRacing.gp, SimRace247.com. I don't think I've missed anyone, but if I have, I apologise. I'll pick it up. Oh, Ben22Racing.com. Oh, sorry, Ben. I almost forgot you as well. Look at these 3 Bentleys going for it, though. This is 5th, 6th, 7th on track all together. Ashley, Jackman, Wilmot, and Johnny in the yellow and black Bentley holding that position for now. There is a flash of purple on there, so don't worry. We haven't got Johnny completely de-purpled for this series. There you can see the flash of it at the back. Johnny cracking on in 5th place. I almost said 9th place. He's car number 9. Now, don't go anywhere once this race is finished, because we will then switch servers in the background here and join the action in split 1. So, 2 splits in the GT3 series this year. As we see, is that Graham Jackson running very wide there? I think it might be. Yes, Graham with all kinds of issues there, unfortunately. So let's pick up the action again with Johnny ahead of Casey and then Matt. WVO. I think I hyped the Bentley too much. Either that, or you just drove the Bentley too fast and now everyone wants to drive it. He's a cracker though, it really is. Pit window's open. It's only a short window tonight, 15 minutes. And these guys cracking on. Johnny running a touch wide. Jackman getting a bit closer through the S's here. Different lines from the Bentley boys. You see Matt Wilmot just trying to hang on to these two in the background in that orange and black OTL Racing Bentley. Good job from Matt as always on the pad. I have a lot more respect for him now, having driven that Bentley on the pad around Zolder not so long ago myself. It's a tricky beast as Johnny takes to the pits. He is one of the first. Oh no, Ralph Vest is in as well. So yeah, Vest and Stack and Ashley all into the pits. We've got Dixon Hurst a little bit further back in the pack. He's already in the pits in his Golf-inspired Porsche. But Petr Jelinek continues to lead out front there. 9.5 seconds clear of Willie Black, who is second in his Lucky Charms Bentley. So just picking up some of the cars that are moving up through the field as the other guys are in the pits. So we've got Christoph Schnapp in that lovely Ferrari, is up to 6th overall at the moment. Lucas de Doid ahead of him in 5th in the McLaren. That's the highest placed McLaren of the night. Not many McLarens out tonight, which is interesting. It's been the car of choice just lately, but no... Well, not many McLarens. Oh, as Ralph Vest picks up an SG30. Unlucky Ralph. 30 seconds stop and go penalty for Mr. Vest. Must have been speeding in the pit lane. We know he's just been through the pits. So that's what he's gone and picked up a penalty for. Jackman and Wilmot continue this battle, and I wonder if either of them will take to the pits this time around. Only got 12 minutes of the pit window left. Just 27 minutes of this race to go. Track is optimum. Track is good. Do either of them pit? No, it doesn't look that way. No, they both carry on. Ryan Davies now fairly clear out front in the national class. It's a nice looking Aston, that one. Car number 4. Coming down towards T1 then. Let's go on board with Ryan and volume up. Take a lap with your national class leader. So that was a lap on board with our national class leader, Ryan Davies. Plenty of cars have been through the pits now. Jackman and Wilmot have both stayed out though, so they're obviously trying the overcut on Johnny. Oh, hang on. Who was that off track? Was that Matt Gray? Yes, it was. Matt returning to the track now. Let's see if we can pick up what happened. Here's a replay down into T1. Is he going to do it by himself or does he get helped? I think he's going to get helped here. And yes, he does get helped, but that was 2 into 1, does not go. That was Bo Lamberts, I think, that he made contact with. And then boots it too hard, trying to get back on. Oh, sorry, Matt, that we caught that. Painful moment for Mr. Gray. He gets going again, though. No painful moments for Petr Jelinek so far. Evening Legger, who gave the Supreme Leader hacks? P4. Well, you may notice some drivers have stopped already, but he was P7 before the pit stop started, so we'll see where it all shakes out afterwards. But he's having a pretty good run tonight, has to be said. The OTL Bentley looking good. Nice to have some of you guys in the chat with us tonight to cheer on El Presidente. Kicking up the sparks as he goes across the stripe and down towards T1 then. Things have just settled down a little bit whilst we look for the pit stops to come to an end. At the moment, the highest place to the drivers that has taken their stops is D-Stack in 10th. With Johnny then 13th. The next up of the drivers get to the stop as Johnny finds a way past. I think, was that David Oller that he's just got past? No, it wasn't. It was John Rowan there. So Johnny finding his way through. So Medina and Anderson are in this time around. I think everyone else is going as long as they can. But Willie Black is second at the moment. Let's not take that away from him. That's a good place for him to be sat right now. So split one coming up after this race. 22 minutes of this one to go. And Willie does take to the pits now, as does our leader, Petr Jelinek. He's in. But I think Jackman has continued on. Yes, he has. And so has Matt Wilmot. Danny Medina picks up an SG30, second driver to do so tonight. Sig 1 with a follow, thank you for that. Much appreciated. That goes around the outside of one of the Nissans coming out of the pits. I think that is Danny Medina in that white Nissan. A couple of Hondas on track tonight. So Jacques Morel, as well as D-Stack and Shane Watts. Shane looking to recover. He was our pole man. He was out front until a little mistake from him dropped him right down through the field, and then a couple more dropped him even further back. So Jelinek out of the pits then. He is your de facto race leader, really. He was well clear before the stops. I think once Jackman and Wilmot and Davies have all been in, then he will be well clear again. But Ryan Davies having a really good night in that Aston. Convincingly on pole in the national class and convincingly leading this one. Just trying to pick up what's happened to Christoph Schnapp. Oh, he's coming out of the pits. That's what's happened. So directly in front of him, we've got Lucas de Doid and David Oller battling as they come down the hill. De Doid, I think, has just got ahead of Oller, actually, probably into turn one. But de Doid now just pulling away ever so slightly from Oller. Oller yet to pit, so those two a little bit out of sync on strategy. Sebastian Leithoff, the latest one to pick up an SG30. So not only did it go badly earlier on when he dropped it and then got collected by the pack, it's gone from bad to worse now. So I think we've just got Ola yet to stop by the looks of it. Oh no, Matt Wilmot out front, yet to stop, and so's Ryan Davies. But Casey Jackman is in now, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to the likes of Johnny. Johnny a lot closer to Willie Black than he was before the stops. He can see him now. So the big rivalry continues. These two Bentleys go at it then. Who's that coming out of the pits? Is that Jackman? It is. So Johnny still ahead of Jackman, although runs a bit wide. So Jackman might get a switchback on him here. Jackman takes the position momentarily, but Johnny will keep it up the inside into turn 2. He does. Runs a bit wide, so Jackman tries to slip back up the inside, but Johnny says no. And Jackman has to back out of that one. Johnny holds the position and has not lost a huge amount of time to Willie either, so this group of Bentleys continues to grow. So our race leader, Matt Wilmot, into the pits. Means that Petr Jelinek is going to retake the lead. Now, interestingly, his gap is a lot smaller than it was before. He was 19 seconds clear of the field before. Derek Stack has had a great run by being one of the first to stop. He's now 10 seconds behind Jelinek and is going to be second on the road once the pit stops shake out. But let's go back to the Black and Ashley battle, because here comes Johnny. He's closing in on Willie Black. It's not going to work if you run out that wide, Johnny. You want to stick on the grey stuff between the white lines. Now, not that I want to agree with Lega, Mr. Van Rooyen, but I think that's exactly how he did it. He went quicker. So D-Stack stopped right at the beginning of the pit window and has made it count. A few Matt Wilmot fans out there. He's just coming out of the pits now in 6th. So he's dropped off that pack a little bit, unfortunately for him. Everyone has been through the pits now. So your order as it stands is Jelinek first, Derek Stack in second in that lovely NSX. Willie Black is third, with Johnny Ashley fourth. So this is now a battle for the final step on the podium in this class. Casey Jackman 5th, Matt Wilmot 6th, Lucas Dedoid is 7th. Christoph Schnapp 8th, Ryan Davies is 9th and 1st in national class. Shane Watts is up to 10th now, so Shane recovering a little bit from his earlier issues. Tojan Anderson is 11th now, with Bo Lambert 12th. And I say it in that way because look at that, Bo. Bo is 2nd in class as well. Great drive from Bo. Joel van der Valk is 13th. Ralph Vest, after some unfortunate times, is now 14th, with Heike van der Veen 15th, side by side with Matt Gray coming down to turn 2 though. Matt looking for the switchback, and they've got to be careful because they've got another car directly behind them, although that is Andy Hearn, who I think, yeah, he's multiple laps down unfortunately. Van der Veen then 15th, holding off Matt Gray, who's 16th. Then you got Locker is 17th. Marek Chittil 18th. John Rowan 19th. David Oller 20th. Dixon Hurst 21st. Danny Medina 22nd. Jacques Morel 23rd. And Andy Hearn, the last of our cars that's still running, is 24th. We've lost Graham Jackson back to the pits some time ago. So let's go back up to the Black and Ashley battle, which is now actually a Black, Ashley and Jackman battle. Jackman coming to join the fray here. So this is on board with Casey. We're coming up towards the chicane. You see Willie Black's got some traffic there. Who's that slow off to the side? Oh, Johnny runs a bit wide. They're trying to fight through the traffic here. Porsche did well to get out of the way. In the end, there's another Porsche to get out of the way. And we see Casey Jackman get very sideways. Johnny now looking for a way through, twitching away as he gets past. Casey goes for the send, but a little bit too far back to make it work that time. Good job from the Golf liveried Porsche there. Jackman now getting a real sniff of Johnny's tailpipe. Jackman soaring away at the wheel, trying to keep this Bentley pointing in the right direction. In the slipstream then, down the start-finish straight. Matt Wilmot about 4.5 seconds further back from this pack. Black, Ashley, Jackman, this is your battle for third on the road. This, as a reminder, is Split 2 that you are watching here, which is our first race of the night. Split 2 is the AM and National class drivers. Split 1 coming up soon. Those guys are already practicing away. We have got a yellow flag out on track. It's for Stefan Locker. Oh, sorry, Stefan. Nobody wants to see that live. The grass be slippery tonight, that's for sure. Yeah, I know what you mean, Lega. Yes, it does to a certain extent. This is Split 2. We've got Split 1 to come shortly. 12 and a bit minutes of Split 2 left. I keep getting so confused. Oh, Willie Black sideways. Johnny right with him. Casey Jackman right with both of them. That's a back marker behind them, so that's not Matt Wilmot right with them, but Matt will be trying to get onto the back of them. But look at these three go. This is the battle for third then. Let's go helicam and look from above, because Johnny's got a run at Willie. Willie going defensive already. Will Johnny go to the outside? Yes, he does. And he's going to try and pinch Willie in, so to speak. Jackman was there, Johnny. Oh, and Jackman had to back out of that one. Tiny amount of contact. And that has dropped them both back from Willie Black a little bit. So this is the battle of the race at this moment in time. There's 11.5 seconds between Jelinek and Stack out front. But there is not 11.5 anythings between these guys. Black, Ashley and Jackman for third. Oh, as Ashley runs a little bit deep there, and Jackman looking to try and get the switch back on Johnny. Can't get the run into the chicane. Johnny looks a lot more comfortable when he's close to Willie than he does defending from Jackman. As we all know, it's so much easier to be ahead than it is to... it's so much easier... Let's see if I can get my words out. It's so much easier to follow than it is to be ahead. Wow. These two are really close. Mr. Fish. Classic Johnny vision there. Eyes forward only. Sometimes when those eyes are forward, it's through somebody rather than around somebody. Oh, Johnny gets a little bit wide through the final corner. No space for Jackman though. And these three just spreading out ever so slightly. Oh dear, Mr. Fish violated the no Johnny rule. Gets a 20-second timeout for his troubles. Maybe one of these days I'll have to take that one off. These three just separating out ever so slightly. Let's go take a look at Bo Lamberts and Ralph Vest, because these two are pretty close together. They're in different classes, but nothing wrong with them racing here. But actually Lamberts decides to let him go. So Vest up another position. Will now look to set after Tojan Anderson. Yes, I will clip that bit for sure. We did actually manage to get Johnny on air saying something about Willie the other week, which I'm not going to repeat because then somebody will clip it and attribute it to me. But yeah, take a look at our clips and Johnny and Willie sitting in a tree. So Heike van der Veen running a bit wide there, and Matt Gray gets back through. I think Lambert's just had a bit of a moment and has dropped back behind Van der Vork. Petter Jelinek looking imperious out front. He is 13.5 seconds clear at the front. The battle for third is tightening up again. So Johnny was 0.2 faster than Willie last time around. Casey Jackman was 0.2 faster than Johnny. So in fact, look in the background there. Jackman right on the back of Johnny now. And this is hurting Johnny because every time he starts to put some pressure onto Willie, he's then got Jackman all up his chuff. And it then means that he has to focus a little bit backwards rather than forwards. And that might just save Willie in the battle for the podium tonight. Big nod. Yes, Ryan D is absolutely killing it tonight. He took pole by a huge amount. And then had a couple of issues early on in the race, but has fought back well through into 10th overall and winning his class. Yes, Hydra, I think we all would. Nobody wants to see our Willie Johnny, hey? Mr. Van Rooyen, I have not, but I'm sure some people have. So looking forward to being able to get back in my rig before too long. There's so much new stuff for me to try out. So really looking forward to being able to do that. Hopefully not too much longer now. So Johnny has dropped 1.2 off the back of Willie now, but Jackman still right with him. Let's go on board with Casey. Let's take a look at Johnny's arse from a distance, thankfully. Oh, Johnny runs a little bit deep through two. Might get a better drive out. And yeah, Jackman getting a little squirrely on power. So Durkin21 says there's a lack of pace, huge setup work for it. Well, sounds like all things Audi really, doesn't it? Mr. Fish says, here comes Leg to give some fake news on the Ferrari Challenge car. We look forward to it. That thing is a weapon in a straight line. I've given it a go on a pad very quickly, but yeah, it wasn't so much fun through the corners on a pad, but I don't have the skills of Mr. Wilmot. Jackman getting very sideways, not for the first time there, and that does give Johnny a bit of breathing space. I wonder if he'll now start to think about closing the gap on Willie a bit more. Willie coming up behind a back marker. Is that Van der Veen, I think, maybe? That he's about to put a lap on in the Nissan. It is indeed. So he goes through past Hiker. Willie, also being from this island, really feels like a part of me, you know? Well, whatever floats your boat, Hydra. And Mr. Fish, I'm just not. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Lega says he loves the BMW and Lambo ST in the new cars. Yeah, the BMW's good. It was always good on race room in the BMW 235i stuff. So, yeah, I think that one's pretty promising. And Hydra, I'm not going in there either. I'm not going there, Mr. Fish. You two can complete that one in chat. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But look, Johnny is right back behind Willie now. So the three of them are together. Because Jackman has gone with Johnny as well. And the battle for third resumes then. We'll stay with this one. Willie just gapping them a little bit through the middle part of the lap. Maybe Johnny starting to having to look in his mirrors a little bit more than he was earlier on. Yeah, Ben dropping the exclamation mark, Johnny. Why not? It's got to be done. Oh, and that looks to me like Johnny has run a bit wide. He has indeed. I'm just trying to switch to it now because Jackman much, much closer to him. Jackman rocking the oNiD livery tonight. Drive through for Stefan Locker. That's unfortunate. That must be track limits. These two now going at it down into turn one. Johnny seriously late on the brakes though. Nice defensive line. Right on the apex. Holds that perfectly. So 2 minutes 40 left to go. I didn't break it, Ben. I fixed it. It's the whole point. We don't want people to talk about Johnny. Mr. Fish, I'll go with that one. I wonder, does Johnny have quality rubber left? That one's less over the line. I can cope with that one. I can cope with that one. Nice to have you crazy folk in the chat with us, though. Johnny has dropped back a little bit from Willie now, so yeah, Willie looking pretty good to hold on to this third. With less than 2 minutes to go. Jelinek way out front. Let's pick up with our race leader in national class, Ryan Davies. He's in some clean air. Watts has got himself back up to 9th. Really good run from Watts after the earlier issues. Davies sits 10th overall then. Adam, I can cope with that one, D. Yes. I've had worse nicknames, that's for sure. Current peg leg one being up there. So Jackman's still staring at Johnny's backside. I feel for you. Nobody wants to be staring at that. As they come through T1, Johnny gets the touch squirrely. Casey getting closer again. Just wonder if he's going to have to think about a big, bold dive at some point. Let me see if I can show you Willie's helmet. Have I got a camera angle of Willie's helmet? That's from Willie's helmet. How's that for you? I don't think I have the ability to actually show you Willie's helmet. Oh, no, we don't want to see that one. Oh, he's done it again! You absolute fool. You absolute fool. F4, he says. The man says F4. No, it's not going to work whilst I'm using ACC TV, I don't think. Please don't tempt me, Mr. Fish. But, there we go. Petr Jelinek across the line to take the win. Just spotted that it was final lap in the end, so Jelinek takes the win. Bo Lambert's across the line, which is second in class. Great job for Bo. Well done, that man. Derek Stack with a great run to second tonight. 15.8 seconds off of Jelinek, but still a good run nevertheless. Willie Black takes third. Johnny Ashley fourth. Casey Jackman fifth then. Matt Wilmot crosses the line in sixth and with a flash of the lights. Thank you for that. Let's go pick up on Ryan Davies, who is on his final lap. Gonna get the ban hammer out. Mr. Fish before too long, I think. So we're going to go jump into split one very, very soon because qualifying starts very shortly. And hopefully Cammy will be joining us, or else you'll be stuck with me and Johnny, which nobody wants really, do they? So we are going to just take a short break. Once we have finished that break, we'll be back with qualifying for split one.
Hello race fans and welcome to oNiD Racing's ACC European GT3 series. This is now split 1. My name is Cammy Sturge. I'm joined in the commentary booth with our sort of resident oNiD racer Johnny Ash. Oh Johnny, how are you?
Hello, yeah, not too bad, very tired, just on my split 2 race, but yeah, I'm a sweaty mess at the minute.
I'm just tired in all ways now, I think. Sort of I'm nearer 40 years old now, so I'm just tired all the time.
Yes, yeah. It should be a good one. The split 2 was fantastic, so pressure's on the split 1 boys now.
Yeah, I was sort of slap on my wrist. I was late to the own party I'd signed up for, and I sort of caught the second half of the race and then thought I shouldn't really jump in on Adam since he was doing a great job on the commentary on his own, but now it's my turn to do that. But yeah, Hungaroring in the dark, it's not the easiest track in the world. It's a very technical circuit, and it's not a circuit where you can rest for a moment. There's only the one long straight, so it's not like the old Hockenheim or Le Mans where you can sort of relax for a moment. So you're always working around Hungaroring. It is a 14 corner track, and I don't know if anybody else knows. I always thought it kind of looked like a fish. I don't know if that was just me. Like the little map, if you look at it from top down, it always sort of looked like a fish. Is that just me, Johnny?
It might just be you, Cammy, to be honest.
It might just be me. No, all right, I'm not going to try to explain it. It's just my funny mind. But we're already into qualifying. Split 1 racing in the dark. I believe they're starting from the same sort of time of day. Shoveler has got the first lap in, but Zalecki is just under half a sec, and the times are starting to come in now. Brujnik is 1 second off, and Higgins 1.5 seconds off in the silver class. So we've got the 2 splits in this split. Yep. Silvers and the pros. We've got Higgins and... Sorry, go on.
So yeah, the Silvers will be out first for the first 10 minutes doing their qualifying, and then the pros will be out in the second half of qualifying to do their laps. So yeah, we've got pro and silver in split 1, and we've got, as you probably saw in split 2, we've got pro and national. So nice little split.
Yeah, we've got so many people now joining the oNiD Racing League. We have had to there wasn't enough grid slots in one race, so we have had to divide things up and now have a sort of 2 races, each with their 2 splits, just to sort of accommodate all the entries we're getting. And it's fantastic to see it's all getting much more popular, and 44 people watching now. I think last season we had a high of about 35 people. So maybe it's just because we're sort of affiliated with GB Broadbent now. Maybe that's pulling in people as well.
That's definitely going to be a factor in it, that's for sure. But it's good to see so many people joining us. It should be a really good race.
Yeah, and it's so great to see some familiar names and some new ones as well. We've got Chris Martin returning. He's in the Ferrari, number 29. Zalecki as well. He's a veteran of the series. Dylan Beeson, James Suckling, Martin Thorpe. Yeah, the names are all sort of coming back to me. Alex Shahabi, they're in the top split. But at the moment, we were with Stein, who's another veteran. And this is Dominic Joy now in the, I was going to say BMW, but I think it is actually a Lexus, as he's coming up to the round in the penultimate corner, coming up to the final corner. He's already near the top. Oh, he's just been shoved off that front row by Holman in the Bentley. And I've seen a few drivers change cars from last season as well. I noticed in the other race, Petr Jelinek had a change from Ferrari to Bentley. So I wonder if how many more drivers have decided to make a change. Ben Brown, our resident livery designer, if you need liveries, hit him up, has just put it on provisional pole with a 145 dead almost. Just a smidge, the tiniest margin ahead of Holman, followed by Joy, Shoveler, Stein and Brujnik.
Adam Kravitz here in the pits. I'm going to jump you to Matt Holman, who's flashing purple 3/10 up on this lap.
Great to see Matt in here. Matt was he was in the rookie league last season. He's in the rookie league again this year as well. So it's great to see him in and above what we know he can do. So I find all this bit's quite tricky, this part of the track, especially if you get the line wrong to start with, because it's kind of quite flowing. It can really affect your lap, but he seems to have done that pretty well.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge most of us are sort of accustomed to racing in the daytime, and you'll be looking at your markers, looking at maybe parts of the track. You'll look at a tree that you'll use as a reference, and things can look pretty different in the dark. Sort of what you were relying on for your braking points and such might have moved. The track will be colder at night as well. That will make a difference to the grip that they'll have. They may have to change their setup slightly to cope with that. It shouldn't be too much of a change though, as we're following Matt Holman as he's coming round the final corner, and the number 51. Wow, and 5 thousandths of a second now.
Ben just took it back.
And Ben's just taken it back by a tenth of a second. Wow, so it just shows the level of skill at the moment. I mean, the top four are all separated by less than 2 tenths of a second, and I think that's only gonna, we're gonna get more and more times in such a small margin of each other. If we follow Jack Lancaster now in the Porsche, and that's the highest I've not often seen Porsches that high up. It's I mean, GT games always have a Porsche in them, of course. You can't have GT racing without Porsches, but I never see Porsches too far up there. They never seem the car that gets the OP treatment.
No, and I think this track will suit Porsches quite well, because the one thing that the Porsche does lack is some straight line speed, with there really only being one big straight, and that's the pit straight, and a lot of corners. The Porsche will actually, I think, will really relish round here, and the people driving it. We've only got one Porsche, I think. Yeah, we have only got one Porsche in this split, so I would think he'd be... Well, Jack's quick anyway. He hasn't raced with us for a couple of seasons, but he is fairly quick anyway, so it's good to see a Porsche up there, because they are pretty good cars.
Ben flashing purple a 10th up. We'll switch back to Lancaster though, because he's now flashing purple 3 tenths up.
So everybody's starting to... several drivers out there now flashing purple. Ben Brown's flashing purples out there. So the track's starting to rubber in a little bit. They're getting temperature into their tyres. The track is 18 degrees Celsius, the same as the air temperature. I mean, I'd say that's fairly close to optimum. That's a warm night in Hungary, wouldn't you say, Johnny?
Yeah. I'm just having a look at trading times. Every time Ben gets knocked off of a silver pole, he gets it back. So Jack just went quicker briefly, and then Ben's gone back onto the top spot in silver class. But yeah, going back to... It is quite a decent temperature. We had kind of the same temperatures over in split 2, and it didn't seem to hamper the cars around Hungary with the temperature. So that says to me that it's set up nicely for this kind of temperature. It would have been a bit warmer being in the day, but it is still relatively warm. 18 in the 18 degrees air temperature and 18 degrees track temperature. That's pretty good for night racing.
Yeah, I mean, 18 degrees, for our American viewers out there, I'd say it's about 65 Fahrenheit. That's, if you haven't got air conditioning, that's a fairly uncomfortable night trying to sleep. You'll be kicking the covers off, the obligatory one leg sticking out, as William McCone comes into the pits, and I believe that is the silver drivers' time is up, and the pros now are out on the track.
Ben Brown flashing purple, 3 tenths up.
Ben Brown is getting more purple sectors. He's already got provisional pole, but he's going to try and want to solidify that, as Wilbert van Oosenen has snatched his pole away by 7 thousandths of a second. So we'll have to see if Ben's purple sectors were good enough to trump van Oosenen's times. He's coming up to the final corner now, the long 180 degrees right-hander. He'll just need to keep it tidy, no wheel spin, use as much curb as he can, foot down. Yeah, and he's back in front by a huge margin. They've been sort of tit for tat by thousandths of a second, and he's nearly pulled half a second. So to be exact, 4 tenths of a second on Van Oosenen, and he will be very pleased with that.
Parkin 3 tenths up.
Alex Parkin is 3 tenths up on his best. That should move him up to about 11th. He goes 12th, so a great effort from Alex Parkin, and 16 drivers separated by 2 seconds. So we've got a strong field out there, and so rightfully so for split 1. With Jack Lancaster now of the oNiD Euro Championship team.
I think Jack needs to be in the pits though.
Yeah. He does. He's not realised. Yeah.
I'm on it.
Do we? Yeah, I was going to say, do we have any rules to let a driver know? We don't want them penalised.
We have a Johnny. We have a Johnny.
Go Johnny, everybody.
Release
Yeah,
the
'cause
hound.
this wouldn't be so bad, but he could end. Well, he'll gain an unfair advantage. Oh no, he's in.
Johnny's put him back in the pits.
He's obviously. Oh no, he's come up as disqualified.
Yeah, he will do. He's now cleared. There you go.
There we go. Hopefully that will just give him a little mild heart attack of. That'll scare him straight. So we're following Chris Martin now with Origin Racing. I believe he was driving a Ferrari in the last season as well. Yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure he was. So he's pretty comfortable in the Ferrari. It's, again, not one of the cars that tend to be OP, but it mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, sort of have a light front end. It could be well balanced around this circuit. I wonder if cars like the Bentley and the just the Bentley actually. Is the Aston Martin mid-engine? I'm not even sure now if I'm confusing it with the V12. But it should be fairly balanced and sort of not understeery as the Bentley could be. I might just be waffling nonsense though.
The Bentley's really strong around here. I think the top 4 of the top 5 in Split 2 were Bentleys. I did notice that and sort of realised I must be talking waffling on a bit, but yeah, I'm more accustomed to sort of engine at the front, making it heavy and hard to, you can wear out your tyres quicker. As Chris Martin's coming around the final corner now to finish what I believe is his first flying lap. And we've only got 6.5 minutes left. They don't get long each. So that's P11. P12, he'll want to do more. His tyres are still going to be warming up. So, and Hagel, that's the first time I've seen a Honda go on pole with a 143.9, so 3 tenths ahead of Ben Brown. Ben Brown really punching above his weight, actually. He might really be, he's still in with a chance of being right up there on the front row. James Suckling, 0.7 back in the McLaren. And last season's, I believe he was, last championship winner, Jonathan Seville, has put it on pole. I wouldn't expect anything less. And he is a second faster than Ben Brown, so it's almost like he's just got a different. It's like watching GT3s go up against GT4s to sort of pull out that gap. That's a quick lap from Johnny Seville. That is a very quick lap. We had a Honda on pole in Split 2. They seem to suit this track as well. But there again, I think as well, with the update that came this week with some obviously the new Cup cars added, they did tweak the Honda a little bit.
Didn't it lose a ton of ballast?
I think it did lose quite a bit of ballast, and if you can get a setup for it, because obviously all the old setups no longer work for it. The rumour was that basically what they'd done is put the new Honda Evo 2 settings in the Evo 1 shell.
So when you say they remove ballast, it feels like I just picture these mechanics around the car going, how can we make the car faster? We've been working on this car for a year and we can't make it faster. And then someone's gone, lead weights. Have we not get them out?
If any car I drives in it, they usually how can we make this car quicker? Take the idiot in the driving seat out of it.
I've got an interface issue between the seat and the wheel. As Julian Bell, car number 6 in another Honda NSX. It's good to see more Honda NSXs going through into 9th position. So yeah, some of these silver drivers, Brown and Van Oosten, especially Lancaster, it's a good healthy mix. Although the pros will feel they're underperforming a little bit at the moment. Jonathan Seville, did he go a little bit quicker there? It's 143.2.
Yes.
He's gone slightly quicker, because he is now just over a second ahead of Ben Brown, who's been pushed down onto the 3rd row, just ahead of a Lamborghini. Again, Lamborghinis, cars I don't often see up there too much. It's something strange that's happened with the graphics on my end there.
Thanks,
George McDonald.
John Rowan for the subscription, by the way. Much appreciated. Sorry, Cammy.
No, that's cool. Earlier I was watching through the Discord and then was watching on the Twitch and then realised, my commentary is going to be about 30 seconds out of sync with everything. As George runs a little bit wide there. A nice paint scheme he's got there, a Tag Heuer sponsorship. I'm sure that's real sponsorship. Jonathan Seville, we're back.
Flashing purple, 2 tenths up.
He's flashing purples, 2 tenths up. I mean, where is this? It's not surprising he's like going into this season as the reigning champion, but where is this speed coming from? If you know in the chat, let us know what his secrets are. Maybe he's overclocked his computer or something and he's got a special hack going. But no, it's incredible. Half a second to second place. And all of these cars, of course, they're all running sort of what's called a balance of performance. So they should, they should generally be equal. One might be heavier than the other, but one will have slightly more power than the other. These cars should all sort of, no one car should hold a huge advantage as he goes even faster with a 143.0. So that's another 3/10. So Ben Brown is now 1.3 seconds back. And Ben Brown can probably hardly believe how quickly he's falling down the order. The track's the same temperature. The track is still optimum. No rain on the cards. No changes on the cards. So yeah, I mean, in this situation, Ben would be sort of hoping it suddenly rains, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Alex Shahabi in the Jaguar. Again, don't see too many Jaguars. In Regal Racing, car number 8, he's 2.3 seconds down at the moment, so he's really mingling in with the silver drivers. Let's see what he can pull out the bags. Foot down across the line. He's got 1 minute and 43 seconds to go. He's 17th, 2.200 seconds off pole time.
That's an outstanding effort in that Jaguar, to be honest. It's really not easy to drive.
I know a thing or two about driving the underpowered cars in series. Every series has that sort of one, sort of the black sheep, where just, no, people don't pick that car. Just don't pick it. And I've been lumbered with those before. But yeah,
Julian Bell 4/10 up on this current lap.
So 4/10 up, I don't think that might get him into third place. If he can get sort of 4.5 tenths up, that could move him up into third place. But otherwise, I think it would just sort of be a solid 4th ahead of Ian Hall. Foot down across the line.
Definitely third. Great effort.
He's definitely third. So we've got McLaren, Honda, and then Ferrari, Bentley, Lexus, McLaren, Lamborghini, Honda, and BMW.
Hiker in the chat saying black sheep cars are the most fun to drive, and that's because Hiker picks them. He was in the GTR today, I believe.
I think it can make it, it can make it exciting as well when you know you're out driving the car.
Yeah, makes you feel good about your driving as well if you know you can get a decent result in a car that is probably not as good as the others that are on the grid.
Absolutely.
McLeod goes second.
Stuart McLeod goes second with Wild Things Racing, and I'm pretty sure that's Wild Thing Racing of Denise Pope fame, quite a fairly well-known team around sim racing, or it could just be another team with the same name, because I can't see their trademark font and sponsorship down the side. No, John, you're still out. You can relax now. Is he going purple? Is he going purple again?
No, he's 10th down on his current lap. Hagel is 4/10 up on this lap, though.
So this could put... so Marcus Hagel, 4/10 up. This could put him in second place. Not much of a move, but, being up on the front row can give him a good opportunity to go for the lead. He's got that second place, so he could be alongside Jonathan Seville, and that puts him in a good position to sort of pip Jonathan Seville for the lead. Jonathan Seville was a 10th down, unless he's made up some time in sectors 2 and 3. He has made up some time in sectors 2 and 3. He's going purple. You've got the number 1 flashing on his windscreen. That lets us know he is the number 1 positioned car. Foot down across the line.
No improvement.
No improvement. I didn't see any improvement, and so he's already almost 4/10 up on Marcus Hagel. So I mean, what more could he have done?
7/100ths slower on that lap.
It could, I suppose, if he's 7/10 down on that lap, it could just be a case of he's been running those tyres for several laps.
No, he was 7/100ths slower. Consistence.
Wow. Yeah. So that is qualifying over. Both the Silver and Pro cars have had their 10 minutes to go out and put a time in. So run you through the order. We've got Jonathan Seville, Marcus Hagel, McLeod and Beeson on the front 2 rows. From there, it is Bell in the Honda, Hall in the Bentley, Dixon, Ben Brown, James Suckling, McDonald in the Hurricane GT3 Evo rounds out the top 10. From there, it's Gilbert, Jongen, Van Oosenen, Martin Thorpe, Lancaster, Vimmen, Holman, Stein, I was going to say Chris Martin, then the old Coldplay joke comes into my head. Thanks, Adam.
Look at the stars. Look how they shine for you.
Oh, God. Someone set him off. Get back in your box.
In 20th place is Joy in the Lexus. From there, Alex Shahabi, who's a bit of a disappointing session for Alex Shahabi. He dominated in GT4. McCone in 22nd. Higgins, Shavala, Bruznik, apologies for mispronouncing, Selecki, Alex Parkin, Kurto, Allen, Botha, again, quite far down. He's in the R8 this season. Austin and Lopez in 32nd. So Luna Lopez had a bit of a bad session there. Leighton Austin is already saying he hates Hungary. I don't know if he means the country on itself or just the circuit. That would be a strange thing to just announce a hate for a whole country, but I'm assuming he means Hungaroring. So the session will get underway, as you can see on screen, in about 40 seconds' time. And then it will be up to Jonathan Seville to lead the cars round on the pace lap. And then it's a rolling start. And as soon as the green lights and the green flag drops, it is go, 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 or lights out and away they go, as Crofty would say.
Just for your reference, Cammy, because we didn't discuss this beforehand, F1 spoilers are banned. Thank you.
I'm well aware. I saw the misspelling of it as well. It said no F1 spoliers.
Oh, no. Did it really?
It did. I don't know if it got corrected, but no F1
Oh, yeah, it still says spoliers. Oh, dear.
Spoliers. It does sound posh and almost French, doesn't it?
Well, a special breed, Adam.
Non spolier, s'il vous plaît. As Jonathan Seville.
Oh, I've now got spoiliers.
Spoiliers. But yeah, we won't talk about the Formula One. It was a. Can't say it was at Jeddah. It was at Jeddah. Okay. Jonathan Seville has moved off the line. He's going to take the cars round to turn 1. Last year there was quite the pile up here in Formula One, wasn't there? But should be no such problem for these guys. It's nice and dry. These guys are very talented as well.
And there's no Valtteri Bottas to play bowling balls.
No, that's it. I wonder if Seville will be missing his teammate, because are they still teammates? Because I can't see their liveries quite in this lighting.
Well, you've got just for reference here. You've got Pulse Sim Sport cars first. And second with Hagel, and then I think you've then got Julian Bell is in a Pulse Sim Sport car in 5th, and Miles Dixon in one in 7th as well. Am I missing anyone, Johnny, from the Pulse team? There's quite a few out there tonight.
Shovler, did you mention Fraz?
No, where's Fraz?
He's in silver.
Raz is 24th. Yeah, he's in a Pulse car as well.
God, it's like rats in London, isn't it? You're never more than 10 foot away from one.
Someone's done a Johnny.
Oh, and someone's gone off on the wall. We'll say they did an Alain Prost. There's some honour in that.
See, yeah, this is why I like Cammy being here. She doesn't rip me as hard as you do, Adam.
Alain Prost famously spun off on the warm-up lap in 1990.
And who did it in 1995 at Monza?
Oh, that was David Coulthard, I believe.
From the
I was trying to remember if Alain Prost did it in 1990 or 91, because he did it in a Ferrari at Imola in torrential rain. Gerhard Berger did the same, but he got going again. Prost did not, and he was out. Drivers can fluff up their warm-up lap here, but they'll generally get away with it.
It was Jim Allen who did it and recovered nicely, and he's back in position.
Didn't Schumacher do it on the way to the actual grid before the warm-up lap?
I remember he smashed into a Minardi once.
Verstappen did it a couple of seasons ago as well in the wet.
He did it at this circuit, and the team had to work overtime to get it fixed in time. Luckily for everyone here, race repairs are a bit quicker when you're not racing. So, Jonathansville, they've rounded the penultimate corner. They're coming up to the last corner, turn 14, the 180 degree. It's a really nice, long right-hander. Sometimes I wish it was Banks a little bit. But essentially, we don't have a real pace car. On screen, they all get the graphic user interface telling them how fast to go and where to position their car. And it will be up to them now to stay in position and make sure they react to the green light as quickly as possible while staying in their position and not being disqualified or given a drive-through penalty, as Higgins has picked up a drive-through penalty, and we're away down to the first corner. Jonathan Seville's got a great start. We're 3 wide behind them. McLeod, Beeson, and I think that's Julian Bell. They were 3 wide. Looks like someone backed out a little bit. Oh, it's going to get a little bit... There's a little bit of contact, but it looks like everyone's made it round. They've all sort of taken it gingerly, maybe because it's dark, so they've not wanted to go flying in. They've used a bit more due care and attention. Yeah, Higgins has picked up a drive-through penalty. It'll be in his interest to get that taken care of as soon as possible. Now, he can't serve that at the same time as he's doing his obligatory pit stop, can he, Johnny?
No. That'll have to be taken separately. There's they'll have to wait 15 minutes before they can get and do their mandatory pit stop anyway. But yeah, like you said, I think Junior really needs to get in this lap and get it done, it will put him into fresh air as well, so he can really pump the laps in.
That will be his best chance of catching up whilst everyone's sort of having their little being held up by the car in front. And we've got Alex Curto off.
We had a spinner in the chicane as well, and I think it was Ben Brown.
Oh, let's see if Ben Brown's fallen down. Well, Ben Brown's running in... Oh, yes, he's in... I'm
25th.
Confused. Yeah, he's in 25th. So ignore the driver ladder for now. He's in 25th position, but Ben is one of the best overtakers out there, so he will be moving up the field. I promise you that. He'll go past Higgins anyway, who has the drive-through, so that's one position in his pocket, but that's not the start he'll want to. He's...
I think he's just taken back Fraz Shovler as well, so he's already up into 24th, 23rd maybe, but Fraz has got the inside line on him.
He'll be kind of... Well, I was going to say he'll be hoping these people let him pass, but they won't be because they're all in the same silver class, so nobody's going to sort of let him by because, you know, oh, you're a pro, I'm not really racing you. No, Ben is absolutely racing all of these drivers, as it looks like Higgins is quickly dropping down the order, which can only mean he has pitted. Jonathan Seville has put the fastest lap of the race, and he is starting to pull out a gap on Marcus Hagel already, 1.3 seconds. So they're starting to spread out a little bit, and we're going to get some spread outs and some little gaggles, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it'll be quite stacked for the first few laps, but then it should get, like you said, little packs here and there, little gaggles. I like that word. It's a nice word, that.
You can also say it for a gaggle of geese as well. It's the
gaggle of geese, yeah.
Look at all these geese on the track. Brilliant. As we've got Wilbert van Oosenen in 12th position. He has now assumed the lead of the silver class as Ben sort of made it. I wonder if we'd be able to get a replay of Ben's mistake at the beginning. If not, don't worry too much. But if we can, that would be awesome.
Replays don't go back far enough for that, unfortunately.
No, the DeLorean's not working to go back in time that far. God, wouldn't it be amazing if a GT3 DeLorean? Anyway, Jonathan Seville is now 1.6 ahead of Marcus Hagel, and Marcus Hagel's he's good start to his first race of the GT3 ACC oNiD Racing Series. Dylan Beeson, a consistent front runner last season, he's running in 3rd. Miles Dixon, he'll want to move up from 8th. He's a few places down on what I'd usually see him in, but the first few laps you just want to keep out of everyone's way, as we got a few cars there side by side down the straight. It looked like that might have been Vimin, or we've got Alex Shahabi there making a move on Vimin, who's in the Audi, and that is a little push, but no, as a good overtake, and that is 13th place for Alex Shahabi. And Alex Shahabi was a master of the GT4s. He doesn't seem to have the same mastery of the GT3s, and he's coming back at him. This is great with Hungaroring, because you've got this 180-degree right-hander, 180-degree left-hander, and then this great sort of sweeping complex where you can just get so many, it's easier to come back at someone. But it does look like Shahabi is holding this group up. You weren't speaking highly of the Jaguar before, were you, Johnny? I can see why.
Yeah, it is really, really difficult, but he does like a challenge, does our Alex. So I think in one of the evaluation races he was up, I think he managed to get it up to like 5th.
Yeah, but this is like Usain Bolt shooting himself in the foot and going, well, I like a challenge.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him climb up the order, though. He's very consistent. So I think I think you'll see him top 10.
Adam, that's not what you did, is it? You didn't shoot yourself in the ankle to give yourself a challenge.
No,
that's
I'm challenged enough as it is.
I was going to say, just being himself is a challenge.
Thanks for that, Johnny. Just in the chat, by the way, Petter Jelinek was asking what the drive-through was for. We can only assume, Petter, on as it came before the start, that Junior must have been out of position at start.
Can you get a drive-through if you're going too fast? Because you have to be at about 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, you can. It depends if you're going too quick and you speed, it will give you a drive-through. If you're out of position, it will also give you a drive-through. So there's a couple of ways you can get. If you just get a little bit too twitchy on the loud pedal and go half a second too soon, it's pretty brutal and it will give you that drive-through straight away.
I mean, it's not very racy of me, but sort of my attitude is just, it's easy, back off a tiny bit, you'll lose less time than if you get it wrong by going too much a tiny little bit. Ooh, and George McDonald holding off Holman there. Holman had a little sniff, but he's coming. We've got a little battle going on behind him there. Jack Lancaster, what a great shot. I think this is going to be one of those shots that we promote the oNiD Racing series with, where you've got these cars streaming through the complex, headlights on, filing one by one through in a line. It's fantastic spectacle.
Good little battle going on between Miles Dixon and Ian Hall. So they've been going blow for blow through the complex and now down into the right-hander before you get to the second to last corner.
You like to see what, Johnny?
Excuse me?
I didn't cut. I think he said
He was trying to be funny, but no one else got it.
I think he went. Oh, I thought it was Amoran says what, and then you go what? An old classic classroom tease. It looks like Ian Hall's lost a little bit on Bell in front, Julian Bell in front, and now he's having to defend from Miles Dixon. And it's good to see nobody's flashing their lights this season. I hope we've had a bit of a crackdown on that, because we did have a bit of sort of unnecessary headlight flashing last season, didn't we, Adam?
Yes, we did.
Not from you. I wasn't saying Adam to say he did that.
That's just general flashing from Adam.
Yeah.
You like to do what, Johnny?
You're not going to catch me out. I'm not going on one of your silly oNiD stupid reels or whatever they are.
Again,
yeah.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on me.
Fool me twice, just a fool.
Now I can just think of the George Bush quote saying it, where he gets it all wrong. But Miles Dixon, now looks like he's struggling to get away from the Aston Martin, and the Aston Martin is my favourite car in ACC. I think it's a very balanced car. It's a very pretty looking car as well. As Young in there, he's really coming under pressure.
Replay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's heading off. And desperately trying to defend there from the... Are we allowed to advertise Marlborough? That might seem... We've got advertisements for Marlborough there, but I think that's James Suckling, isn't it? It is. I mean, yeah, if you're in a McLaren, that's... Everyone thinks of that with McLaren in the early 90s. But anyway, back to the front runners. Jonathan Seville now 3.5 seconds ahead of Marcus Hagel. So it looks like, once again, Jonathan Seville is running away with this race. And I think the only things that have sort of tripped him up in the past when he's been in this situation is back markers getting in his way. Otherwise, he's a very solid driver, and he's a very safe bet if you're a betting person to put your money on. Dylan Beeson, he's 1.8 seconds behind, but he's being hounded now by McLeod in the Ferrari. We've got Ben Brown, he's made his way back up to 21st. Of course, he fell down to 25th position on the opening lap. So, and as these two fight ahead of him, we've got Rudolf Stein and McCone as they fight in front, and that's going on my commentator reel.
That was an Adam noise.
Well, I live in a house share. I have to restrict my voice volume a little bit. I have to have some self-control, otherwise I'd be screaming. But Ben Brown now up into 20th position, and you can see why I call him a master of overtaking. Very opportunistic, and he's going to be in 19th position very, very quickly. He is running 5th in silver class at the moment, and that's going to quickly become 4th. So while we'd be disheartened that he's in 20th, he can sort of take some consolation that I think he'll quickly be back in 2nd in class. And I think Ben Brown really should be in pro, but hey ho, I wasn't in the evaluation races. That's not my call.
He's not good enough for pro.
That was a brutal takedown. Were you good enough for pro?
In split, I was. Split 2 I was, yeah.
Johnny was good enough for the lowest split.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Someone had to run it.
Well, they must be starting the, about the 6th, 7th lap by now. Everyone's starting to spread out. I don't have which lap they're on data in front of me.
Lap 7.
Sort of get a time.
Just
They're on
started
lap 7. Oh, that wasn't a bad guess by me then. They've got 33 minutes to go. In 3 minutes' time, the pit lane window won't open. They have to make their pit stops within the pit window, where they will fill up with a litre of fuel, and it's just a quick splash and dash just to satisfy the rules sort of thing. But
No, it's not. It's tyres this time around.
oh, tyres too. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, don't have to take fuel. Most people will take fuel because you kind of put as least, like, enough fuel to get you halfway through the race to make your car a bit quicker.
Yeah, whoa, we've got an Audi off. Dave Selecki, sorry, of oNiD
Replay.
Racing.
Here's your replay.
I always wish we had a rewind sound for that. So...
Dave's in that new Audi as well, so the new Evo 2.
So let's see, this is turn 2. He seems on the road there. He's not fluffed it up yet. Oh, just oh. So he's got a slide on, tried to catch it, and yeah, then it's just a tank slapper. It's just sent him straight into the wall, and that's going to be some horrific damage. I think the bonnets are lifted slightly. He's down in 31st position. Yeah, hopefully he can drive that car for a couple more minutes, because if he can get it all done in one pit stop, get the repair, get the obligatory pit all done in one, it will soften the blow, but that's a race ruiner, as Ben Brown is now in 19th position, 4th in class. The number 22.
And I said about Shahabi getting up towards that top 10, he's now up into 12th. Got past Van Oostenen after getting past Wilmot as well, so I wouldn't rule out a top 10 for Alex in that Jag.
No, Alex Shahabi is doing very well in the Jag. You have to say it like that. Clarkson started that, didn't he?
Chris Martin just ran off track, lost 2 places.
Oh, Chris Martin. Well, he's not lost too much time. It looks like he can get those places straight back if he's hot on it, and if he's sort of shaking the grass off the tyres.
He was going on an adventure. He was going on an adventure of a lifetime. Hey. It's a Coldplay song. Isn't it?
Yeah. Was it to Paradise?
I'm gonna hand him my resignation now. Anyway, Laszlo Vimin is in 14th place. He's got McDonald right behind him. So and these cars have the same engine, the Audi and the Lamborghini. They've got the same engine. They're both owned by the same parent company, of course. Miles Dixon taking a little bit of grass just ahead of Julian Bell. And if I recall, is Julian Bell the 15-year-old we had last season, the youngest driver in the series?
A-firm,
yeah, he did. He had some cracking races last season. Mature driver for his age, and sort of punches well above his weight. And he's going to be wanting to get past Miles Dixon, but there's not going to be any team orders this early in the season, I'm sure.
I think actually he's the youngest driver title has been taken off him. I think Fraz Shovler is actually the youngest driver now.
How old are they? Because I think Julian Bell is 15 or 16.
I think Fraz is 14. Let me just check.
We're going to get to the stage where we're going to have 8-year-olds doing it, aren't we?
Because it's quicker than me. It's depressing.
As Fraz Shoveler, nobody's taking their pit stop yet, but that's because the pit window doesn't open for another 20 seconds. Fraz Shoveler, another Pulse SimSport racer, is in 24th position in the BMW. The few seconds behind Brujanik. And now we're seeing, most of the drivers have spread out, and now it's going to be a case of who's a consistent driver, who's going to keep on top of. It's very easy to have a lapse in concentration, especially when you feel like things are getting easy and you calm down a little bit and you relax, and you just relax that little bit too much, and you can miss your braking point, or if you're very unlucky, sort of miss it badly and go into a wall. But the pit window has just opened. So, Johnny, who do you think we're going to see jumping in first? Who do you think's going to sort of hold on to the last minute?
I think you'll probably, I don't know, because Ben's had his accident. I don't know whether he'll jump in quite quickly and try and get himself fixed in some clean air. I don't think he might not have too much damage.
Yeah, he's right behind Chris Martin. So, good shout. I think, good shout. Let's see what happens. He's coming up to the pit lane in a moment.
No, he stayed out.
You were wrong.
I was. Someone did just take to the pits though. I didn't see who that was.
I see some tail lights.
Yeah, George McDonald. Yeah.
So McDonald is not really the first to blink, just the first to go for it.
Dominic Joy in as well.
Of course, I suppose if you want to pit early, you're a bit unlucky if the pit window opens just as you've gone past the pit entry.
Leighton Austin in, and heavily damaged Dave Zalecki in as well.
Dave's been in twice because he went to the pits to repair his damage. So this is actually Dave's second pit stop. This will be the mandatory one. Round.
Oh, we've got Matt Holman facing quite the wrong way. He's just waiting for the traffic to come through. That's what happened. So he's had a look up the inside. A bit opportunistic, maybe. Oh, it looked like he got half a car alongside. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, it's one of them. You just stick your nose in sometimes. If you're doing that, you've got to rely on the driver next to you to realise you're there. And if that hasn't happened, then unfortunately he'll be always at risk of that happening to him. So it's unfortunate for Matt, really.
Now he could have, pride hurt. He could have just kept it. And he spun again. Now I think what's happened is because the way he reversed, I thought it was very clever. But then he just slammed it into the barrier. He did it far too fast and just slammed the rear of the car into the barrier. So now he's probably where he wouldn't have had any damage, but because he did that, he's got rear wing damage now, I think. And that's going to be upsetting all the downforces. Alex Shahabi as well. I can see how difficult that Jaguar is. He's really having to wrestle it round. Also, the track and air temperature have dropped by 2 degrees in the hour we've been on. So that will be benefiting some drivers and sort of putting other drivers at a disadvantage, perhaps. We'll see sort of how that plays out. None of the top 20. Oh, sorry.
It does depend who picks up that the track temperature's gone down, because obviously you have to adjust your tyre pressures accordingly because you can lose time. So, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, those that have had spins as well, their tyres will be very hot. And once you've had one spin, it's really easy to have a second spin, and it's sort of this snowball cascading of tyres get hotter, easier to spin. You spin, tyres get even hotter. And that's a trap I've fallen into before. None of the top 23 drivers have pitted yet. Ooh, Miles Dixon, he's having a look. Be careful, because that is your teammate.
Julian Bell has dropped down to 11th place, has not yet pitted.
What has happened to Julian Bell? We might never know if that was too far back in time.
Too far back, yep.
Going back in time. Sorry, can you tell I watched that trilogy last weekend?
No, it's like the third time you've mentioned Back to the Future, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I don't have much of a life. I sit here, I do graphics, I watch things. That's why I need to move up to... And Dixon is into the bits. That's why I need to move up to near Milton Keynes and Silverstone and all that. That's where all you are.
We are.
So, don't speed in the pit lane. Hit your speed limiter before the white line. Pull up to your invisible pit crew and...
Thorpe on Suckling.
Yeah, it's JB's just running the pits as well.
Suckling holding on around the inside, but Martin Thorpe looking to get the old switcheroo. It's not come off. He's still driving the nice caramel, sort of coloured Capri's caramel car, so I am happy with that. But he's following this McLaren very, very closely. There's not a lot of time to be gained in the pits, really, I suppose, is there? It's not like Formula 1 where pit crews can make a mistake or their times vary. If you pit at the same time, you're likely to come out at the same time, aren't you?
Yeah, it really depends. It's
Okay, if they repair damage, maybe.
yeah, if you've got a little bit of damage that is affecting the car, how well you hit your pit box, because the game will hold you until you're perfectly in that pit box, or if they have to move you, it can take valuable, half a second here.
Gilbert drive through.
Drive through. Yeah, Gilbert's got a drive through. Has he pitted yet? Has he picked that up in the pits, or maybe that's just too many off-track excursions?
That's going to be really tough. He'll have to go and do that drive-through and pit within the next 9 minutes. So,
yeah, I think kiss goodbye a top 10 finish there, Gilbert. That is a tragic shame. Ben Brown now up into 15th, but of course he is being helped by a few cars ahead of him, such as Miles Dixon and Julian Bell taking their pit stops. So we can expect Ben Brown to fall back down the order a little bit, but he is in third in class. I'm just wondering, was Rudolf Stein ahead of him?
Knowing Ben now, he'll either, because he didn't pit early, he'll go as late as possible. So I think you'll probably see him do the rest of the 8 minutes and come in as close to the mark as he can, because he seems to be not losing any time to Chris Martin. So Chris Martin's probably helping him through with some quicker lap times as well, as you tend to do if you're following someone who's about the same pace or slightly quicker than you. So
yeah, if you're a silver following a pro,
absolutely, it will be one of them things that you will just want to stay out and gain as much time as possible on Lancaster and Van Oosenen and hope one of them has a mistake in the pits
so
to get him back up there.
AYR21, thanks for the follow. And I was just going to say that maybe Ben Brown is hoping that Chris has got a little bit of damage that he may need to go in to fix you. No?
Dear. Oh dear.
That went straight over my head. I don't know what happened there.
Shuttle SG30.
Adam, I think it's about time you disappeared off to Violet Hill, mate.
Ooh. Good one.
He's exposing how musically illiterate I am.
He's trying to get as close as he can to Martin to see if he can make him shiver.
Hey, I like that one.
Yeah, Shuffler's got a stop and go 30-second penalty, and he's yet to pit. So yeah, he's going to have to take 2 pit stops. That could be, yeah, he'll be finishing the race well down the order. Marcus Hagel, and Dylan Beeson are in the pits now. I don't think our race leader is in the pits. I can't see the driver ladder. He is in the pits.
Yeah.
Gap from Martin to Brown is closing down, but Chris, don't panic. You need to go at the speed of sound.
Oh dear.
Congratulations to Claire for those 2.
Oh, you're being helped.
Oh yeah.
Ben Brown's getting
there doing your jokes.
Ben Brown's getting so close he can see Chris Martin's sparks.
Oh, I like it.
I'm wondering what you just slammed your fist on.
He's cast.
Yeah.
No, this is the cast noise.
Wow, you've still got a cast on.
Yeah, I was supposed to have it off on Friday, but I had COVID, so there you go.
Anyway, McLeod has taken over the lead now from Jonathan Seville. Jonathan Seville's, I think he's out the pits now. He's down in 10th position. He still holds the fastest lap. Everybody ahead of him needs to pit. Naturally, as Jonathan Seville came in as the leader, he had a smooth pit stop. I don't think he had any damage. He's been having a textbook race, not put a wheel wrong at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at. I'm still following Ben Brown. He seems to have lost. Now he is in a position where he is losing a little bit of time to Chris Martin. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see Ben come in this lap, or hope if Chris goes in, then he will stay out.
No cringy pun this time.
I was waiting for one.
I thought
that's what you were talking about.
No, I couldn't think of one this time.
Well, he's just maybe hoping that Chris has an off, and the flags go out and they're all yellow.
when you try your best but you don't succeed and all that.
Oh, see, I knew that one. The pit window will shut in 5 minutes, so he's going to get 2, maybe 3 laps. No, I think that's 2 laps. Yeah, 3 laps maybe. 3 laps to get into the pits. If you miss it, it adds like 180 seconds to your race time at the end, and it just absolutely messes your race up. It is not worth missing it. In Gran Turismo Sport, actually, it could work out. You could fiddle it, where if you drove quickly enough, you could. And Ben Brown's going to take advantage of this. Chris Martin must have a bit of damage on. He's obviously not got the grip under his wheels that he'd like, and Ben Brown almost able to take advantage of this. And why is he flashing his lights? Don't do that.
I take it they've been told that classes shouldn't be racing, whereas in Split 2 we kind of told the drivers as a trial that we'd just let them race. So I'm guessing Ben was just letting him know that, I am quicker than you.
Viva la vida!
Yeah, very, very tidy overtake there. Chris Martin very close. I thought it was going to nudge the back of Ben Brown, put him into a spin there, but no. Ben Brown now just needs to get his foot down and start pulling away.
Hydronox has joined in. Chris Martin gaining lap time, must be checking his clocks.
Oh dear. I mean, that one is so funny. It's made me cry so much. It's like every teardrop is a waterfall.
Oh dear. Oh good God.
Discord, help me. It's like being surrounded by dads.
Ben continues to climb up and up.
I can hear your researcher. I just heard her sort of feeding jokes into your ear.
Yes.
Or she's telling you to shut up.
Instead of flashing his lights, he really just should have talked to him, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. But the lights were so bright, they looked like sunrise.
Oh, God. Well, we've got to stop this.
Yeah. What time is it in race? Is it close to midnight?
Oh, stop.
Okay, I'm stopping.
It is 10:32. Stop it.
Thanks, Cammy. It wasn't a literal question.
I know. Pit window closes in 2 minutes 50 seconds. Jack Lancaster getting some lead laps under his belt. This will be a new sensation for him. He's followed by Ben Brown and Van Oosenen. And Chris Martin's just gone ahead of Van Oosenen. So Van Oosenen is in the pits. It is just Lancaster, Brown, and Martin who need to pit now. And we've got a car facing the wrong way there in a very dodgy place. The yellow flags have gone. And Leighton Austin into the. So did he just hit the wall there, trying to recover from his spin? Let's have a look. We've got a replay here. Thank you very much, Adam. So this is going to get a tank slapper on, because that looks like what's happened to the other spinners so far. He's not. I don't think he's been spun around by anybody else. Oh yeah, he's just got his foot down a bit early. I was going to say the tracks could be greasy, but these cars don't put down oil or anything. It just looks like maybe he needs to turn his traction control up a little bit. Oh, he's just planted it into the wall. Oh, and now he's sort of towed back to pits.
RTG.
Oh dear. Leighton Austin. Oh, and BMW is shifting through.
Ben and Lancaster are in the pits. I think Ben's gained a little bit of time as well on Lancaster. So if Ben gets a good pit stop, it could be all to play for.
Is that a Coldplay song as well?
No, that wasn't.
No, okay. So we'll have to see where Ben Brown's put in a very good drive after his lap one sort of trip to Cock Up Lane.
Have we been missing a trick here in the fact that all of these puns also involved Ben Brown, and obviously one of Coldplay songs is Charlie Brown? I can't quite work it out, but there should have been something there, really, shouldn't there?
Maybe. I'm not impressed by any of these Coldplay.
Oh, Matt's joined in. Have to be careful in the pits. A rush of blood to the head can ruin everything.
Oh!
Right, I resign.
For the second time tonight.
Now, Cammy, don't be like that. It's all politics.
Although if I was picking you up, it's actually politic.
Hydronox said it's back to square one.
Anyone in Discord, anyone on Twitch, help me. Please. Anyway, Jonathan Seville has reassumed the lead. He is over 5 seconds ahead of Marcus Hagel. I wonder if Marcus Hagel's sort of just settling down and just thinking, second place is a good place to finish, because it doesn't look like he's going to catch Jonathan Seville unless those dreaded back markers come into it.
So Ben Brown update. He's come out of the pits, and he's really not far behind Wilbur Van Oostenen.
I like the idea of Ben Brown updates. Like we could just have Twitter updates about Ben Brown. Ben Brown special update.
So Ben Brown did pass Lancaster in the pits, and he's less than 2 seconds behind Van Oostenen now.
Another drive through for Higgins.
Oh no.
So this could be just off-track excursions, because you get 3, and then the 4th one that you commit is a drive-through. Julian Bell running in 11th place in the Honda, but it looks like he's going to be past that Lamborghini of George McDonald very quickly. Gucci sponsored. I've never actually seen Gucci sponsor a car in real life.
Drive through from McCone.
Oh, they're all coming now, aren't they? So as we've reached a sort of half an hour point of the race, it looks like lapses in concentration, pushing too hard. Because I remember I picked up three off-track warnings at Spa, and then I had to drive the next 40 minutes of the race just being super careful. And you might as well but you have to slow down and just be more careful, because if you lose 5-10 seconds over the course of the race, that's going to be less time than you're going to lose in a drive-through penalty. So it's a great shot here, looking back at Gucci getting plenty of airtime here as we're watching Julian Bell chasing. Oh, he's going for it! Oh, that was a Max Verstappen type move, wasn't it? Just send it down the inside and let the other driver worry about it. Oh, yeah, I think he knows he was in trouble and backed off there, because he knows that wasn't a legitimate pass. That was... Johnny, what do you think about that?
He just completely missed his braking point.
Yeah, I think he was that focused on trying to get past him. He's just missed his braking point. It's one of them racing incidents, really. I don't think it was intentional.
I don't think it'll get the stewards. It'll be noted, but I don't think the stewards will do anything about that. He quite rightly backed off, let George McDonald assume the position again, and he's 15. This is maturity I don't see from drivers who are much older and more experienced. But he's
done it again.
Oh, okay. Come and say, again, they've gotten away with it.
Oh,
and
now
let George McDonald go through.
That was a little bit naughty from George McDonald, and a little bit of left hand down just to let maybe he wasn't very happy.
Yeah, I've had similar, but somebody brake checked me to let me know they weren't happy, which I didn't hit them, but yeah, there's not many ways you can these drivers can't talk to each other during the race. They're not in sort of one communal lobby. So the only way they've got to communicate their feelings with each other is flashing the lights, which we strongly discourage against the rules, or as George McDonald there, sort of just a little bit of left hand down. As Julian Bell's coming back at him, and this is a fight for position. They're both in the same class. Okay. George McDonald's going to be really... No. Oh,
and
dear.
that is, I think, that was Van Oostenen that got caught up in that. So Ben has gone through for the lead in silver.
So George McDonald is going to be livid, because he's going to say, this is the 3rd time you've done this to me now. And we got away with it the first 2 times, but...
Yeah, that was...
So he's trying to get the classic switcheroo, but McDonald's is wise to it and doesn't give him the open line, and Julian Bell just drives into him. And then... And McDonald,
instead of really, McDonald's he should be holding his brakes. I know he's going to be annoyed, but he should be holding his brakes there.
And now his car's damaged. I think he's got no. I think I see a rage quit coming. And whilst again it's strongly discouraged, we like to keep these streams as real to real life as we can. So we discourage people just hitting the escape key. But can you blame him in that situation? He's sort of been taken out 3-4 times.
And of course, we'd ask that there's no discussion of that in the chat as well.
Oh, it'd be interesting if we can get George McDonald in the comms booth later. Give him a moment to calm down, because I wouldn't be surprised if he was effing and blinding at the moment. But he's
we'll just encourage that the driver submits incident reports, and the panel will review it all and deal with that.
But their loss is going to be Ben Brown's gain. So Ben Brown is leading and now he's up into 12th position. So he's really going back from being down. I'm trying to think, where did he start?
Van Oosenen into the pits must have damage.
Yeah, I would think.
I feel so sorry for Wilbert Van Oosenen. He's a fantastic driver, a veteran of the oNiD Racing series, and he's just completely innocent in that. So Julian Bell has kind of mucked up two people's races, and as a commentator, you try not to lay blame on a single person, but like Bell, it's kind of hard. Bell did it 3 times.
Yeah, I'd have to do a brundle on that one and just say Bell was at fault there, definitely. But yeah, like you said, Van Oosenen now has to go in the pits, but it's not going to be smooth sailing for Ben because Lancaster is 6 tenths behind him and going very quickly in that Porsche.
We're following Alex Shahabi at the moment from a sort of a helicopter chopper view.
Alex Shahabi has Julian Bell directly behind him with Ben Brown, Lancaster, Gilbert all in close proximity.
Somebody warn Alex Shahabi now. He's got the bulldozer behind him.
Or the Belldozer.
Why didn't I? Oh, Cammy, get your shit together. You should be coming up with it. Oh, and Bell's going for it. Oh.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is called karma.
Yeah, that's the word that came to my mind. Nicely handled, like Shahabi. You kept your own there. You've got. I think he has the bigger, heavier car as well. But yeah, Julian Bell. That was one sort of contact too many, and he can't point to anybody else in that situation, can he? So again, whilst all that's happening behind him, Ben Brown's chasing 10th place. He's chasing Alex Shahabi now. I think Alex Shahabi will be happier to have Ben Brown behind him. They've raced together, and I think they're both drivers that will have a lot of trust in each other. As Rudolf Stein, easy, clean move up the inside and goes up into 15th
He was
position.
getting past a heavily damaged Bell there. Bell limping.
Bell should really be in the pits. Unless he's just thinking, well, there's 8 minutes of the race. I'm going to try and get what I can. But, he is running 3rd, 4th from last in class. So, he'll pick up some points, but... Oh, well, it's going to be easy pickings for everyone. I hope he's not going to be defending too hard because, he's a wounded animal at this point and he's got nothing to defend with, and he doesn't need more black marks against his name of all these contacts and more people putting in filing reports. Dave Shalecki, oNiD Racing in the... I was going to call it a Renault R8. What the... Audi R8.
A Renault R8, nice.
It looks like that Renault GT3 car they had, and I can't remember what Renault called it.
RSO1.
That's it. I liked that on GT Sport, and it's got the same sort of shape.
I love the Renault RSO1. I used to use it quite a lot on Project Cars. It was brilliant fun.
It was great on GT Sport, and then they made an update, and it just became uncompetitive, and they ruined it. And then their penalty system got ruined, didn't it? So that's why we prefer ACC.
Don't let Willie hear you say that.
Oh. Does Willie like GT? Oh, it's GT7
sorry,
now, isn't it?
No, Project Cars.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we're with ACC. Assetto Corsa Competizione Race Trim Competition. It's on PS5 now, but I'm not about to run out and buy a PS5 just for a racing game that I've already got.
James Gilbert has his windscreen wipers on. Has dropped to 12th. Ben Brown has got past him.
So there's no sign of rain. Maybe he's just, build up flies on the windscreen. Try to clear some flies. The track is still optimum, so it's not getting greasy or wet out there. The weather tells us... I love that it's nighttime, but the weather icon is a sun behind the cloud. And it's still 16 degrees out there. Shower of sparks. I think he caught the sausage curb there. So Alexis... Oh, he's really taking a lot of curb there, isn't he? He's really attacking these corners aggressively. He really wants to get past Alex Shahabi, who, again, I was saying, was a master of the GT4 cars. But GT3s, either he's not as comfortable in GT3s, or there's just stiffer competition around.
This is Beeson and McLeod for 3rd.
Yeah. Sorry, I took you right across you there.
No, I think we were saying the same thing. I was just letting you know we've switched to Beeson and McLeod or McLeod for 3rd.
I'm going to end up calling him Fox McLeod. So Dylan Beeson's got 5 minutes now to hold on to this position. Marcus Hagel is well up, 8.5 seconds up the road. So I think Marcus, he's still losing time to Jonathan Seville, but it could be a safe second place for them as long as they both don't encounter troublesome back markers. It depends if Julian Bell's driving a damaged car. He could be caught very quickly by the leaders. That could be a concern. 22 laps completed.
He's
so
the
we're
same
going to get
team as the leaders, so you'd assume that he would jump out of the way.
We hope, but anything can happen in sim racing, as we know. Plus anything like netcode, slight lag, if they've not heard each other, if they're not actually in the same sort of Discord audio lobby. We're going to have to ask Stuart if it's McLeod or McLeod. McLeod, I don't know. But they're coming round to start their 23rd lap that Jonathan Seville is already on. He's 7.6 seconds up the road from Marcus Hagel, followed by Dylan Beeson and Stuart McLeod. Miles Dixon has moved up into 5th position. He was 8th at the beginning of the race, so 3 position gained. Not a bad going for Miles Dixon. James Gilbert for Pulse Team Sport is in 12th, but he's sort of in this pack with Shahabi, Brown and Lancaster behind him, and
that's 2 teammates into each other, I think. Oh no, that was Brown getting hit.
Brown, wasn't it? Ben Brown. So yeah, and now Lancaster's really wanting to take advantage of that situation. Ben Brown's all out of shape and sort of this twisting section. He's all off his lines. He's losing even more time. A little bit naughty there from Gilbert. A bit of a British touring car move. Yeah, he's flashing his lights.
We'll forgive him that flash, I think.
Yeah, I'd forgive him a little bit for that. He's not going to be happy about that, especially he's only got 3 minutes to respond to this as well. So is he going to be able to get back past? I mean,
he'll be more concerned about staying ahead of Lancaster directly behind him, I should imagine.
Yeah. It just means, he's far more under pressure now from Lancaster, and he may feel now he's going to be held up by Gilbert. Ideally, he wants to get back past Gilbert just to sort of create that buffer zone between himself and Lancaster.
Gilbert was up there though, wasn't he, in the race? He was until he had that drive-through. He was right up at the top end. So I would think you'll see Gilbert drive away now.
Yeah, Lancaster is really hounding Ben Brown now. This is going to be a great finish for the silver class. Going to be a very close finish. Lancaster a little wobbly as he gets over the curbs. Alex Shahabi, he's got Gilbert right behind him. He's really outdriving that Jaguar. Hats off to Alex Shahabi. He's doing things in that Jaguar that most people wouldn't be able to do. So, just looking through the rest of the field, as I've said a few times, Jonathan Seville is leading from Marcus Hagel. Dylan Beeson is in 3rd, with Stuart McLeod in 4th. Dixon in 5th, Hall in 6th, Jongen in 7th, Suckling 8th, Thorpe 9th, and Shahabi rounds out the top 10. From there, we have Gilbert, Brown, Lancaster, Vimin, Jane, Martin, Joy, Bruzhenix, Botha, McCone, Lopez, Parkin, and Curto in 23rd. I need to wait for the driver ladder to move a little bit, and then I'll continue reading off the rest of the positions from 24th down to 32nd. And we have had a few retirees, as Alex Shahabi with some very defensive driving, just holding the inside. Gilbert trying to do a sort of Ricardo-esque move to go round the outside. It's not going to come off. He's got whoa, and Lancaster has dropped it. Lancaster has dropped it indeed. So Ben Brown will be smiling. It looks like just pushing too hard, really, and I don't think it was a tank slapper. It just looked like he just pushing a bit too hard, bit of wheel spin, and lost it all on his own. He will now just be making sure Stein doesn't go past, as Alex Shahabi is getting a little knock from behind. Gilbert's sort of knocking at his door.
Leader on final lap.
Jonathan Seville starts lap 25, which is going to be absolutely our final lap. Alex Shahabi is doing everything to lug this heavy, slow Jaguar around, and he's defending masterfully from Gilbert, who is in the much faster and much favoured and slightly OP BMW. As the BMW's closing right up, he's got 2 more corners to do it. It's going to have to be a real Verstappen dive for it, but it looks like Jahabi, all he's got to do is keep the inside. Is it going to be the old switcheroo, or is he going to try and get him around the outside? He's going to try and hold him. Oh, no, he's ducking down. Jahabi's wise to it. But I think Alex Jahabi is going to hold on to that position, and they're going to start the last lap. Yeah, sorry, I was going on like it's the last lap. So this is it now. Seville must be halfway around the circuit. Woo! And was that Ben Brown? Oh, and Jahabi's lost it.
No, Gilbert hit him.
Oh, yeah, there's some flashing there. Ben Brown's sort of not sure what to do because he's just been greeted by a slow-moving car. Yeah, Alex Jahabi.
Here's a replay of turn 1.
We've got a replay there. Yeah, so attentions were everywhere there because it looked like somebody missed their braking point, and then so he's dived to the outside. Ben Brown's completely missed his braking point, and then nasty knock, and yeah, rightfully so. You sort of hang, what the hell? You know, you've just knocked me and drove off into the distance. And he's going to be out of gear. He's probably in the wrong gear, and which meant Ben Brown sort of caught right up. But Ben Brown probably doing the right thing and not trying to overtake there. He knows there's no point in making that overtaking move.
So Johnny Seville has finished in and has won.
Oh, we didn't get that on camera. There is a race winner. Jonathan Seville, as we were watching the replay. Jonathan Seville is our race winner with Marcus Hagel in 2nd place, Dylan Beeson in 3rd, rounding up our podium. Stuart McLeod and Miles Dixon 4th and 5th. Ian Hall's just come across the line for Pinky 87 Racing. We've got Jongen for Privateers Pitbox, rounding the last corner now with James Suckling in the Marlboro McLaren. That is 7th, 8th and 9th going to Martin Thorpe in the, not the BMW, the Bentley. James Gilbert as well for Pulse Sim Sport is going to round out our top 10. Now, Alex Jahabi is going to be wanting words with him because he did have that top 10. He was defending very, very well. He's going to be wanting words. So Ben Brown wins in the silver class and Lancaster comes across in 2nd. Such a shame he had that sort of spin, sort of trying to push Ben Brown into a mistake, but he made a mistake himself. Stein, so our silvers top 3 is Brown, Lancaster and Stein. Joy and Bruzinics have just crossed the line. And some drivers who are out of place and sort of a lap down have crossed the line and finished, which is why both and McCone haven't finished, but Higgins and Van Ushenen have. There's another light flashing there. I don't know if that's... And Jay Lopez is pulled over. He's not crossed the line yet. Has he run out of fuel?
Quite possibly.
It's quite possible that would be gutting. Jay Lopez has run out of fuel a good... What's that? 100, 200 feet from the line. One corner to go.
The good thing is that he was the last car on the lead lap, so he won't actually lose any position.
He's very, very fortunate, but I think he's going to go into the next race next week and just add a couple more litres into the tank.
Absolutely, he will do, yeah.
But some of the chat in game, the firework going. We've got what an epic race from Jongen. Respect to Thorpe from James Suckling, and Jongen says had to back off the last 2 laps or else I would not have finished. As we saw one driver find that out the hard way.
Well, that brings Split 1 to an end. Cammy, thank you so much for the excellent commentary on that. A dodgy guy on cameras though, I think, for that one. Good night's racing. Johnny, interestingly, the cleaner racing actually came in the more supposedly amateur split.
Absolutely, it did. You know, we had a great race over in Split 2. But it's the pressures of being in the quicker split. You're racing for, you want to have them good finishes. You're racing guys that are quick, so the pressure is on all the drivers. So there is going to be probably more mistakes in Split 1. But no, I thought overall, very good day's racing from both splits. Great win for Johnny Seville in Split 1, and Petr Jelinek as well in Split 2. Good win for him as well. So be interesting going into the next round.
It's interesting seeing some of the drivers in their chat as well that have obviously had some really, really good battles. James Suckling respecting Martin Thorpe, although you don't expect anything else from Martin, really, do you, apart from great racing. But nice to see some of that good stuff going on in chat. There was a last-minute penalty for Austin as well, so don't know what that was for. And as we saw, Lopez didn't actually manage to limp across the line. But next week, where are we off to next week, Johnny?
Next week we are at... Good question.
It's coming up on the screen right now. It's Monza.
We are Monza, 90-minute race, so there will only be one stream next week, so only one of the races will be streamed, because they're both starting at the same time for one of the longer races. But yeah, it'd be good. Monza's not a favourite track of mine, but a lot of people do like Monza. So hopefully
Turn 1 carnage. You do get some carnage at turn 1 at Monza, don't you? Into the chicane.
Carnage at oNiD? Never.
No, never.
Although knowing oNiD, it's probably going to be piss wet.
Oh no, it's not dry.
Well, Johnny, we managed to get through a whole night's racing with not a single drop of rain. What happened?
I know. I said to the guys, I put them on tenterhooks a little bit earlier, just dropped in that there might be rain. But no, we dropped the randomness of the servers from last season. So if we do see rain, it won't be as regular as what we saw it last season, that's for sure.
Great stuff. Well, I think that is probably a good place for us to end this evening. So once again, Cammy, thanks for your commentary on Split 1. Great stuff, and thanks for being along tonight.
Sorry I wasn't around earlier. That was my...
That's right, I had Mr. Parkin with me to start off with, which was all good. And Johnny, a long night's work for you, both racing and then jumping in the comms box as well. So I think a successful night of the first round of the series.
Yeah, it was very successful. Thanks for having us.
Good stuff. Well, hopefully we might have Dan back on cameras next week. He's got all his stuff sorted out. And I will be joining you for commentary once again alongside Cammy. So we can look forward to seeing you next week. Johnny, very quickly before we go though, plenty of stuff coming up at oNiD this week. The final 2 races in the Jimmy Broadbent powered by oNiD all-round series of events series kind of thing. We're on tomorrow night with some more ACC action, and it's going to be painful.
Yeah, Alpine's at Paul Ricard. I'm actually racing in this one as well, so that's going to be good fun.
Well, I should be on the stream, so join me. And I think, am I right in saying I've got Jimbo with me tomorrow night?
Yeah, I believe Jimbo will be with you, yeah.
Splendid. So you can imagine all kinds of carnage in the comms box tomorrow night. As the man formerly from Essex speaks to the man currently of Essex about all things Alpine around Paul Ricard. And then Wednesday night, Praga R1s around Thruxton on AC. Yes, please. We've also got other stuff this week as well. Is it the first round proper of the Porsches, or is it the final evaluation? It's final evaluation, isn't it?
Final evaluation of the Porsches this week, and we've got the final evaluation of the Rookie League on Thursday as well.
Excellent. So plenty of stuff starting really soon.
Friday.
Sorry?
And we've got something special going on Friday.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, Friday night, oNiD Arms. So it's a big grudge match. And Cammy, you'll like the sound of this one.
It sounds like a pub.
Well, the oNiD Arms is the pub. And it's generally me and Johnny sat in the oNiD Arms chatting all things sim racing for a little bit. But whilst we're doing that chatting on Friday, guess what we're going to be playing?
Do you genuinely want me to guess, or
yes.
Should I? No. Circuit Superstars.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, we are. So
I do try to pick that game up.
No, so Johnny and I will be having a bit of a grudge match on Circuit Superstars on Friday night during the oNiD Arms. So that should be great entertainment. But as usual, the calendar for the week ahead will be out from Mr. Ben in the Discord and on all of the socials and all that kind of stuff. But for now, that's us done for tonight. So thank you very much, you two, and have a great rest of the evening. Thank you to everyone who's watched and followed and subscribed and all that kind of stuff. And this stream will be available to watch again on YouTube in about 24 hours' time. So say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye,
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.